Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Evening, wherever you are in the world, you are welcome back to the Umzansi Esports League Season 3 brought to you by Northern Gaming. My name is Dr. Sid, here with two of my very capable friends to bring you the blow-by-blow action of what's happening in the world of esports. It's Snare and Dendo. Hi guys, how you doing?
Hello, hello, hello. Doing good. Excited and nervous. Excited about the FIFA, nervous about the Champions League.
Yeah,
Aren't we all? I hope both teams lose tonight in the Champions League if that
yeah.
was possible. Anyways, we are here today. First round is obviously FIFA 21, as we have two amazing players going on today. But first of all, let's take a look as we remind ourselves of the prize pool that our players are playing for today. Yes, as we can see, the season 3 prize pool is $17,500 and $15,000 going to PUBG Mobile and $2,500 going to the winner or the prize pool available for FIFA 21. Now, let's take a quick look at the leaderboards of what's happening right now before we go into the two players who are going to be throwing it down today. So now you want to talk us through this one?
So we have what we saw yesterday on FaZe grabbing the second W, putting himself at the top of the board. Deevak, this was going to be his second game, but we spoke about this somewhat yesterday. The first matchup for the Beast, something a bit surprising for him. So nothing yet on the board. Young Savage, Bobo, Darth Mayhem, and Moby haven't yet been able to rack up wins just yet. We'll see on which side this goes after today because Deevak has the opportunity as well to put himself equal to Unfazed at the top of the leaderboard too today.
That's amazing. So today we are having a matchup between two amazing players. One player we have already seen, and that's Deevak, and the player that, as Snare mentioned, has an opportunity to put points on the board. His name is TheBeastBianchi. Now, looking at this matchup, just looking at that photograph, the Beast looked like he's going to be bringing a lot of aggression, a lot of power today. I know, like Tendo, like I know we've seen a lot of amazing gameplay in FIFA. Yesterday was an amazing matchup. What should we expect today from these two? What are you looking forward to from these two players today?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I'm looking forward to finally getting to witness the Beast play some FIFA. I've been a bit of a fan of his, so it's going to be quite exciting to see what happens. And I think this is a really, really good matchup because Deevak is a really, really, good opponent as well as the Beast. So I think this is going to be a clash of horns, to say. I can't really call a favorite just yet. I'm gonna have to first see the first leg to see how things lash out. So I think we're gonna see a little bit of each other, trying to play each other's weaknesses and putting on each other's strengths in this game matchup. But yeah, I mean, Deevak really impressed me when I watched his game last week when he was playing against Masom. So I'm kind of rooting for maybe a Deevak win here, but definitely we'll see what the Beast has. Obviously, he's coming in for his first match day, so there's that. So there's probably a little bit of nerves on that side, whereas you get Deevak who's coming in. It's just another one. Gonna have to put this one under his belt, so we'll see who has the moxie to win this one today.
Just a quick reminder to everyone that only the top four teams make it into semifinals, which is going to be explosive. So while we wait for the matches to get ready, I have to say this today. Snare, like you've watched a lot of these players, and you are definitely you totally understand the game of FIFA. Yesterday, we saw a Bobo Beast, I think, coming ham. Like he went straight for on phases. He didn't pull any punches. Do we expect that from the Beast today as well?
I think so in some ways because the Beast has a lot of unfinished business here in the Umzansi Esports League. One of the few leagues of FIFA that he hasn't been able to really conquer. In Season 1, he wasn't champion, didn't even make it to the playoffs in Season 2. And a lot of that came down to the fact that in the earlier portions of the league itself, he wasn't posting up that good results. It was losses quite a lot of the time. So I think you want to correct that and change things up and say, if I'm going to experience a slump in form, at least have it come after I've already racked up win after win after win, instead of just trying to play things out a bit more slowly. Whereas Deevak, one of the staples at the very top of the leaderboard. He's been looking very, very consistent. He's one of these players as well that he doesn't necessarily do anything phenomenal, right? He's extremely clinical. So I think Deevak should know as well that when you're playing against a player like that, the game becomes extremely dangerous the more you allow it to extend, because you can just get those surprise moments, those flashpoints that we even saw yesterday from Unfazed. And preventing him from doing that is going to be imperative, and the easiest way to do that is just have more goals than him. So the Beast, I hope he comes out swinging, and it's his first matchup, right? He's the only person that hasn't played. All eyes are on him. Everybody else has had to show their stuff already, so he now has the opportunity to show why he has the moniker the Beast in the competition.
And you know what they say, the best form of defense is attack. We're going to see if we're going to be seeing a lot of attacking football today. Now, Tendo, watching a lot of these players today, we've seen a lot of recurrent players. Everybody's got their Neymars in there. They've got certain players that we keep seeing over and over in these matchups. Which one of these, like, who would your top four striking, your front four, who would they were picking a team to compete in the Umzansi Esports League Season 3?
I think right now, for me at least, from what I've seen so far, what the forward striking meta per se is right now, I'd say we're seeing Ronaldo, Mbappe, Neymar. I think those three.
Atal as well.
Oh
yeah, Atal as well. He's been up there in the front, so I think right now those are some of the best informed players in general. So obviously, much like any video game, it's a meta and you have to use what is working. If it's working for somebody else, odds are it'd probably work for you as well, you know what I mean? So it's just working around those players and what they have to offer onto the pitch and onto the field. And I mean, you get like Mbappe, who's running down the wing with such fast pace, and most defenders won't be able to catch up towards him, you know what I'm saying? So he will open a lot of space for the attackers to get into finishing areas and be able to cross the ball in. But I mean,
and the action has started. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave you in the very capable hands of Tendo and Snare as they talk you through the gameplay. See you after the first game.
Thank you, Dr. Sid. Tendo, we get into this Deevak versus the Beast. One of the highlights of the weekend, definitely. So let's see how this is going to pan out. You see that Deevak, he is here already in possession of the ball. You're mentioning some of the attacking threats that we have. And Mbappe, Neymar, Atal already being present from him. And he's using Mbappe, exactly as you said, running deep onto the flank, looking for the first goal of the game.
Yeah, applying a lot of pressure here, Deevak. It's looking good so far. As we start things off, throw in for him, loses it. I think wins it back. No, doesn't. Goes to the side of the Beast. So he's gonna play it at the back here. Bit risky, but he's gonna get it clear up the line. And I mean, yeah, we'll just see how things go here, Snare. It's still early on. It's just a lot of midfield play going on so far. So we'll just have to wait for the explosion to happen.
Some interesting things that we're seeing from the Beast. It is his first outing here, and we're seeing new players from him. Luke Shaw, first team player that we're seeing use on left back. This guy. Also Neymar, though he's a regular feature. Renato Sanchez is like one of these bed players. Everyone uses him now and then, but Kaká definitely new, and he's gonna try and get a goal. Deep pass onto Messi, beautifully curled into the bottom corner. Easy first goal there for the Beast, opening the scoreline. His first game here, Tendo, and he's gotten himself a goal.
Yeah, that's really strong coming in from him, and I mean, he just catches the defender sleeping over there, and Messi just in the right place at the right time, plays that so well over there. So now we're going to be looking at Deevak to try bounce things back, try brush this one off. I think, it is an early goal. His defense was stumbling a little bit, so he can find his footing just, in the beginning right now. So here he goes, Essien on the ball. We're going to pass it down the lines.
Let's try search for a counter here from Deevak. You never feel in a comfortable position when you start falling behind in goals from the Beast, but this is what we expected from him. First game out, unfinished business. He needs to get as many wins as humanly possible. Now that he's got back on possession, he was able to get a very quick goal. And wait, Deevak able to overturn from the throw-in. He's now in with Atal. He's looking for an easy way in. It's being denied to him. Mbappe into play with Essien, trying to run forward, but Leon Goretzka gets dispossessed by Kaká. Yet again, being instrumental in this game towards being helpful for the Beast's victory here later, if possible, if he can hold this victory for now.
Yeah, and I mean, look, we're talking about this being his first matchup, obviously, but I mean, there's positives and negatives towards that, right? You've had, you know, the first couple of match days to actually see what your opponents are like, what strategies they have, who they're playing on the pitch. And I mean, you mentioned it, seeing Luke Shaw on the pitch is obviously, you know, the Beast probably analyzing how everybody else is playing their teams, and he's adding something in that maybe people aren't prepared for. And I mean, so far, it seems to be working, but not over yet. Obviously, Deevak still in this one, trying to play it down. Mural with the ball in the middle of the field, passing it to Essien. Davis down the line, playing it to Mbappe.
He's trying his best to slowly build up the possession play. It's not that easy to break down Julio here. He's keeping a very high pressed up line, using both of these DMs. Between Frankie de Jong and Renato Sanchez feels quite difficult to get through in the middle. But these flanks are also very well covered. Wan-Bissaka's been running overtime, keeping both ends of the side of the pitch covered, but there might be a breakaway here. Atal, can he find the pass? Nope. De Jong able to block off the lane, doesn't get the full position. This might be a goal here, Tendo.
Just maybe as Atal loses possession in the box, unfortunately. But now Beast on the opposite end. De Jong back to Atal. He's going to try and make some attacking play here, passing it back into the center now onto Sanchez. Sanchez onto Messi. De Jong. Beast creating some opportunities here, but the defense is really strong from Deevak. He's not letting anything seep through just yet.
Julio's being a master on the ball right now, making sure to keep this possession and keep him away from the ball, so he's not feeling under that much pressure. His players still have a bit of maneuvering space to get off some dribbles. Doesn't result in anything just yet, but moments could break that kind of tension. And Kaka looking for the shot through, unable to get it. Try to go slide in for the ball there. Sort of gives away the foul or a bit of an advantage, so Deevak will see if he can use this uninterrupted time on the ball to build up something useful and progressive. But unfortunately, does not seem like it's going to have anything happen, so he's going to go back to this sort of slow build-up play rather than trying to make something explosive happen.
Yeah, but I mean, the build-up play seems to be creating a little bit of opportunities here for Deevak towards the corner here. Does manage to win himself a free kick here, so this is a dangerous position for the Beast to defend from. Passing short ball here onto Davis. He's going to have an opening here for a shot, but doesn't take it just yet. He's going to try to play it into the box for a more easy shot. Goes for the finesse throw, but it's not in. It's offside, unfortunately. So we're going to play it back to the keeper. So now Beast has a great run on pass. Oh, offside. All right.
That was actually the worst luck ever for Deevak, because his own player got in front of the shot. Neymar, I think, actually had the goal there, but gets blocked off. Muriel, unfortunately, in front of the lane. Feels pretty bad. Golden opportunities like that do not come by often when you're playing against the Beast. And now, you mentioned how he had an opportunity potentially to shoot, but he didn't take it. Over the seasons, Deevak has had this tendency where he will not take an 80% or a 70% shot. It has to be 90 plus before he even considers pressing circle. So for him right now, the consideration is going to be how can he put himself in another great position like that. Was denied by Julio, but did still manage to keep Julio from scoring. And oof, yet again, the key interception there, because that could have been a goal of Kaka.
Yeah, and I mean that makes so much sense. Obviously, you want to have those high percentage, goal opportunities, because, when you do take those 70% shots and lower, you obviously start wasting time. And in a game like FIFA, where there's such limited time to, put that goal on the scoreboard, you really have to, count every single shot here. But now Beast making a play here with Neymar on the line. Has opportunity to cross it in, might just cross it in and play it in. He goes to the ground. Pass in. Oh. The timing there was a little bit off. He could have hit that shot on, but I just think the defense had things, tied down. But we're moving to halftime, 1-1. Possession-wise, not looking too bad. I think it's pretty even on both ends. It's just, I think that one early opportunity really just opened things up for the Beast.
Yeah, it could have actually been 2 over there, but I think he sort of outplayed himself. Thought he had a little bit less time than he actually did, but if he had just, like you mentioned, gone off immediately on the volley, should have been a second goal. But fortunately for Deevak, it's still only 1-0. So I guess it's fair, right? He gets the bad luck of Mural blocking a guaranteed goal, And then the Beast outplays himself to deny himself a guaranteed goal. So it all balances out. It's fine. It's all good.
Yeah, the universe works wonders, isn't it? So now we're going to have a throw in on the side of Deevak. And going for that build-up play once again, just trying to create something. But look at how strong the defense is there. Just sucking in all the attacking players, and you're almost forced to make a pass into a space where the defenders are going to be in here on the side of the Beast. So now he's going to try something into Cartel. Oh, defense just on their mark, ready to clear that one off.
Immediately gets closed down. They prevent him from being able to keep that possession. Deevak playing very, very patiently, and he is the type of player that has enough composure to keep this up across 2 games, but nonetheless quite frustrating that each time it looks like he's found a little pocket of space, like you mentioned, almost immediately defender is there controlling him up. And now the Beast, key dribble past Davies. Can he get deeper onto the pitch though? Not really. So Deevak, though he's unable through Julio on the other side of the pitch, is still being able to do a good job keeping his own line clear. We'll have to do a key tackle here. Quadrado, can he dispossess Neymar? Could be dangerous if he fails to do so, but with the pass back, this is still acceptable because less pressure directly on the final third. But as I say that, is this going to be a goaltender?
It's just, I think, too much happening here, and the defensive line on the side of Deevak is just too strong, and the dribbles aren't coming in, and they're not creating enough space and opportunity for the players. So now there's a counter-attack on the opposite end here for Deevak, who needs something at this point, moving into the 60th minute. So Aphelion on the ball now. I'm going to pass it to Mbappe with a wild and reckless pass into the defense of the Beast now. Shaw on the ball, going to play it up here to Sanchez. Beast, he's good from these opportunities that he gets here on the wings with Neymar. Gonna have to pass it back into the center. The line on the side of Deevak though, holding things well, not really opening up for any opportunities.
He will not crack. He's holding firm, taking in all of these passes. There's going to be a nice pass towards Messi, but yet again, Deevak positioned, and you will not allow the ball. There are also some weird players that we've seen from Deevak, or other players that are uncommon here in FUT. And Tapsoba, though, proving his value and his worth several times in this matchup. And now deep pass into space on the other side of this, but look at the closing in. Zambrota taking no chances, and Julio back in possession suddenly.
Now it's on to Messi. Atal playing it. Loses out to Davis. So Deevak's able to recover from that. Oof, the pass there could have been on. Just had to pull it back though, not enough space to make it. But it's lost again here. So now Neymar's on it, and Neymar has some pace on the wing here if he gets it on, but he doesn't. Gonna pass it on to Sanchez in the middle. His defense is closing up so well here, I think, for Deevak. Like, I think that early goal just, you know, nerves in the beginning just shook him up, and obviously now he's awake and he's trying to close things down as much as he can. But the problem is these opportunities up on the opposite end just aren't capitalizing.
Fortunately for him, as much as this is very frustrating, Julia's only scored 1, and he still has an entire second game. Like you mentioned at the very beginning of this one, some nerves made a player apart and him being sliced apart as easily as it looked. But now that he's stabilized, he looks a lot clearer in his intentions in the game. So we potentially see him finding a way in the second game when he's not under as much pressure to score a direct goal. Like, he'll need a goal, but he'll be like, well, I've got 90 minutes to score it. It is what it is. Here in this one, though, Julio is going to go number Kaka trying to find a Messi for the brace, but Messi immediately covered. Atal somehow actually finds space to run through here. Did not think he was going to be able to run through both Atal and Davies, but Deevak's Atal able to get the key tackle, and they get the dispossession. Ball back in the midfield. We spent most of the game here.
Yeah, I think most of the game has been spent in the middle of the field, and it's all that build-up play that you've been talking about that is trying to be created here on the side of Deevak, and it's just not really capitalizing. As when he sends it forward, there's just nobody really able to make an opening. And I mean, you go on the opposite end here with Neymar on the side of the Beast, takes a shot, keeper in the right place, right time, manages to deflect that out. Defender going to recover that one well. So it looked a little bit shaky there for Deevak, but he's able to recover. So now he's got a counter-attacking opportunity for himself. Gonna try to play it back.
I truly cannot believe he got that pass. Did you see that? Oh
yeah,
my goodness.
That was a very wild pass, honestly. I didn't think he was going to get that. And the shot afterwards, I thought at least the defender might have closed it down. But yeah, I mean, Neymar with the pace gets it in. I mean, gets the shot. But yeah, keeper's just there to stop it.
Keeper showing his worth, proving why he's on the team sheet, and keeps it at least 1-0. It's manageable. 1 goal is dealable. 2 is an annoyance. 3 plus. But stays at 1. He makes some changes now for himself. Lazaro, Estienne has been doing quite a lot of work here, so gives him a little bit of time to rest. And Atal, Julio also giving him a bit of time off the bench. And now I think for Julio, as much as it might be distasteful, it is good time for that good old-fashioned game management, baby. Wind down the clock, grab the W, move into the second game.
Yeah, you can see him swapping a couple of the tactics here, probably just trying to give as much as he can towards this later stage of the game. 3 minutes left on the clock, excluding additional time. So now the Beast on with an attack, so this might be his opportunity here to maybe level things out here if he plays it well. He's opening out over here onto the wing side. So now Deevak has an opportunity, but the defense is just closing him out. Wan-Bissaka on the side of the Beast, gonna be able to hold on to the ball here and play out the time. 1 minute of added time here. Schmeichel gonna clear the ball here for Beast, but now it's lost in the middle of the field. The turn is on here, just almost for Mbappe.
He still has possession.
Oh.
Will this be the goal? Nah, it's finished. It's finished.
It's unfortunate.
I thought actually that they were going to be a punish because we saw, as he was running forward with Renato Sanchez, there was an opportunity where, as he got dispossessed, spaces opened up in midfield, but he checks back with Wan-Bissaka, makes the key tackle. 1-0. Is that a fair reflection of the game, Tendo? How do you feel about this?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think it's a fair reflection of a game. I think I would have been satisfied actually if it would have gone 1-1 or maybe just stayed at 0-0. I think we can't take away, the opportunity that the Beast did create, in the beginning of the game to make the goal he did, play off the nerves, play off the little bit of the recklessness of what was happening in the back line to get that goal. And I mean, that's how you win games. You have to capitalize of, mistakes that your opponent is doing. So, yeah, big W over here coming in for Beast, but I think the fair score would have been maybe a draw at the end there.
I mean, not only would have
So
been
what we're looking at is the guy who we expected to come through and show that he's ready to be on this stage and have that point to prove, has proved the point in the first game. The Beast taking the first game in today's matchup. Obviously, people know that the point system in the Umzansi Esports League Season 3, when it comes to FIFA, is home and away. So the winner will be determined after the second game, which is obviously the aggregate point of matches. So let us take a look at our winner for Game 1, the Beast. I guess, okay, there we go. So, Snare, tell us what Deevak needs to do in the second game.
So going into Game 2, the key thing Deevak can take away from Game 1 is that defense in his midfield play is solid. Just needs to find some kind of way to crack through what the Beast is putting out in defense. And one of the things I think he needs to do is be a bit more adventurous with his shooting. We definitely understand why he wants to make sure he's only getting the shots that are going to guarantee goals. But a player like Julio, those opportunities are very few and far between. And when they come up, weird things can still happen in the game. Their own striker blocking a key pass or a key shot. So let's see if he can be a bit more adventurous as Game 2 underway. I'm ready for this.
All right, I'm going to leave you guys to do this amazing job. See you guys after the game.
So we're back for the second leg of this matchup between Beast and Deevak. And we'll see if things are going to be, held down well this time on the side of Deevak, as, a great passing play here is being made. And he's in the box, but the defense there at the right time, able to stop things out.
That was so close. It was almost going to be a key mirror of Game 1, but at the right time, at the right place, Deevak showing that he's learned from what happened, has composed himself, won't allow it to begin in the same way. This gives us a very good opportunity to have a more exciting game. I really hope he does score one, because that makes it more exciting, right? If he's able to start out from the jump to make Beast force an attack and vice versa.
Yeah, and we're seeing an early sub coming in from Beast there. So I wonder what the thoughts are coming in here from his mind. But he does have the ball after that free kick that was swanded. And look at this pass. Okay, great. The defense is there to stop that one out. Can't believe he saw that one, the Beast, actually. That's very, very impressive. So now Deevak does have the opportunity to play this with a towel.
Listen, it's very easy to see when you have the vision of an actual beast, you're not human. You can sniff out these things quite easily, so he catches it. But I think that's also really good from Deevak, right? Because the last time around a pass came through like that, he was caught completely off guard and almost conceded a goal.
That was the pass that that's the same kind of pass that scored that early goal, right? Where it just went over the top and the defenders were just like a little bit stumbled, not really sure what's happening.
Yes. So he's pretty much managed to block off both attempts at goal from the first game that were pretty key. One of them which resulted in a goal, and now he might get his first opportunity. Mbappe back onto a towel. How did he find the pocket for that pass? He gets it into a towel, and that is going to be the equalizer across the series. 1-0 here in game 2.
Yeah, some beautiful stuff there coming from Deevak, and I mean, it's that passing play, that build-up passing play that you were commending him so much about, and there you saw how it, capitalizes when he's not under pressure and he's ready to give it out. So it's drawn up here as Beast is trying to make a play in the middle of the field.
He's taking his time. De Jong getting into Kaka. They want that really badly. And the Beast. Now it's an open game. Can't rely on the advantage he's gained in the game 1. Anything he gets from here will have to come from his efforts here on out. He's going to try and break down Deevak, but Deevak, since his adaptation after the goal was conceded, has been rock solid on the defense. He continues to remain so. And despite all these dribbles from Matal, from Kaka, from Messi, still it is Deevak holding firm, not letting anybody through.
Yeah, and I think that the attackers are just a little bit too stagnant in that position where the ball carrier trying to dribble to create some space, but the attacker's just not able to find space. And I mean, that's mostly because the defense of Deevak is held down so well there. So now we're going to have to play from the back here, from the Beast. And we'll see how it goes for him as he passes to De Jong. Almost got intercepted there, but it's going to go on to Kaka. Kaka being instrumental so far for the Beast. Been making a lot of plays there, been opening things up for Neymar and Mbappe. Speaking of Neymar, there he is as he plays onto the ball.
And managed to shut down the passing a little bit here. Luke Shaw on the other side of a deflection, so they still managed to keep possession for Julio. Deep pass into Messi on the edge of the box. Can he find a key turn? He doesn't need it! On the edge of the box, a screamer. My gosh, Lionel Messi, that's what we needed. My goodness, whoa, look at that. Okay, that's why he's on the team. That's why he's on the team.
I mean, it's kind of funny, Snare, you've been talking about these high percentage shots where, you almost guaranteed a goal. And that, I don't think, was really guaranteed. There was, one defender in front of him. Obviously, he still has the goalkeeper, but obviously he's banking on the skill and the prowess of Messi's attacking and, scoring skill there. Manages to get that finesse in, and then, he ties it a bit. Well, doesn't ties it up. He goes into the lead here. So Beast still well composed to win this game out.
Oof, now grabbing himself the 2-1 on aggregate. He is in the lead. Deevak wants to be able to respond ASAP. Cannot abide by this matchup ending this way. And now Atal back in possession. Try to go for the step over. Denied with the movement forward. And De Jong just shoves him off the ball. No foul. Clean tackle. And Julio might have just found his stride here. Does he get another one?
There's a big opening here in the middle, but he doesn't really capitalize from it. So things are going to calm down a little bit here. It's 1-1. Still first half. Deevak still has time. Still has a little bit of room to work with, but he needs to be making no mistakes here. He needs to be making some good attacking plays.
Yeah, definitely. And you were mentioning after the first game that was the one area of the pitch where there were some struggles. So let's see. Aphelion cycling him up to Davies. I've been trying to exploit the weakness on this particular side of the pitch here on the left, but seems like there has been some adaptation from Julio as well. He said the only one who can learn from his opponent. It's like watching Saiyans fight, man. Just new forms and new forms. It's wonderful to see.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a great match as well so far, you know what I mean? It's like, yes, I think there's a few opportunities that are being squandered on the side of Deevak where maybe we see him pull ahead, because I think so far I would really favor Deevak in this matchup. It doesn't really seem like Beast has been doing, you know, the same stuff he was doing in that first leg, but so far it's been a great matchup between the two, pretty fair and even. But Messi does have the ball here. Tackle comes in big to clear that one off for Deevak.
Strong challenge on the ball, gets him back in possession. Aphelion with a lot of space for him to run forward through. He's trying to hold it up for Mbappe to get the ball on the far flank, but that just sets up for Julio. And every single time that this ball has been coming up here on the flank, Julio's immediately closed it down, very aware that that's exactly how he conceded the goal. So he wants to prevent that from happening again. And like you mentioned in game one, possession exactly even. And though Deevak might be slightly favored with how many opportunities he's getting on the ball to get forward, Julio just literally, like, there's been 3 shots on goal, it feels like, that have been on target for Julio, and 2 of them turned into goals. Kind of insane in the series.
Yeah, pretty insane. And I mean, look, it's a strategy in on its own, right? You know that your opponent is going to be making these plays, building up the ball as much as he is, you know, trying to retain as much of the ball in possession. And you just have to make sure when you get that counter attack that you are capitalizing and, you know, getting those shots on target. And that's exactly what the Beast is, you know, capitalizing from here.
Neymar trying to break what the Beast has. 2-1, second half. Will they be able to do it? Oh, nice ball back to Leon Goretzka, but can't get it past Mbappe. Ooh, close goal. Might have been able to lay off the pass because he did have the striker right in front of him, but that ball did came under a sizzling pace. And now, speaking of sizzling pace, is Messi, who's offside.
Feels bad indeed. Shot off just a little bit too early there. Played the offside trap quite well from the side of Deevak. But Atal gets the ball back. So it's Messi now for the Beast. Back to Atal. Defense is back for Deevak. No opening so far.
Jeez. Imagine you're the one that's in this matchup and you're thinking to yourself, okay, how do I pass through this guy? The only space available to me is passing back, but opposite direction to where the goal is, but that's all I can do. It's just so rough. Although there might be space now. Dion gets to Messi. Messi with the goal. Are you kidding me, Julio? That's how you get through Deevak. You find the one opportunity. The defender moves off in a little bit of a weird position, opens up the passing lane, easily exploited there by Julio. And once Messi's in that position, he's not going to miss when he can get directly in on the ball.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a little bit of a taste of your own medicine, I think. That was a great build-up play coming from the Beast, you know, opening up the defense, pulling them off their lines, and he gets the perfect through ball in there, and Messi's just there to finish things off, and he's pulling ahead at this point. So now the morale is going to be a little bit down on the side of Deevak, especially if he's able to capitalize from this opportunity here in a dangerous area. Kaka takes the shot! What? Kaka with the finesse! The Beast goes ahead. Oh, it's just beautiful, honestly. He turns, opens up the space, opens up his foot, takes the shot in, and I mean, you just can't stop Kaka in a position like that once he knows he's going to score.
Oh my goodness, absolutely not. Pure finesse, pure class. It felt somewhat inevitable, right? As you were talking about the fact that his morale should be dipping given the nature of the game he's playing, we almost see it, right? The discipline that he's been displaying almost the entire series starts to falter. The line isn't as consistent in its movement up, and it opens up space from Neymar to Kaka, and now a third goal. And how do you come back from this? Deevak down here, second game 3-1 on aggregate 4-1. And in order to draw the series, he needs to score 3 goals somehow in the remaining 30 minutes. And it's Julio all way. Traffic has been just unidirectional except for the one goal. But kind of feels like a blip in distant memory at this point, Tendo.
Yeah, it does indeed. And the plays are not really followed through in here for the side of Deevak. But the ball comes in. He's not able to capitalize just yet, but he is with the rebound onto Mbappe. So now Deevak pulling things back. It's like he can hear you speaking, Snows. He needs these goals. He finds the goal just in time here. So he's got a lot of time to actually score these 2 goals that he needs to bring this one back.
Yeah.
But will the Beast let up? That's the problem.
He did get a little bit lucky there with some key deflections that happened in his favor, but doesn't matter how the goal came about. As long as the goal happens, Deevak will have the opportunity, like you mentioned. Still time left in the game. There's probably going to be more than the 1 minute of added time that we saw in game 1. Deevak. The last thing, though, that can be allowed to happen is for Julio to score yet another goal. So his defense has to show the same discipline that's been guiding him in the series up until this point. And Quadrado, deep pass to Neymar. A lot of space for him to work with here. Is he going to find the pass? No. The ball gets ran out, but this is a corner kick instead of just the usual goal kick.
And the corner's played short here onto Otal. He's trying to find some space with this build-up play, but he's losing out the ball here to Kaka. And Kaka with the ball can be very, very dangerous as he's got a little bit of pace here. Running on with the dribble. The skill is pulling through here. He does have the cross in, but he plays it a little bit too long there. Does manage to get the corner. Also played short on the side of the Beast. Gonna cross it back out. And he's resetting from the back line.
Yeah, not gonna go for a direct movement forward. Back onto Kaka with the ball. Tapsoba with the tackle. Preventing the Brazilian wizard working more magic. So we'll still keep Deevak somewhat in the game. Atal on the end of a very nice cross from Davies, but unfortunately there are more players from Julio. He's going to be able to get the key disposition. Atal running on the flank. Neymar won't be able to dispossess him, so the key pass will get into Kaka. Kaka looking for another one. Dribbling, being kept from passing. Messi on the ball. The shot gets blocked.
And Kaka opened himself up to such a good play up there for the Beast, and if he got that pass in, we could be telling a different story. But speaking of a different story, it still might be being written here as the short ball doesn't work out there. So it's back to the defense here for Deevak. It's 81 minutes. Not much time here to find 2 goals, but maybe this is the start of it all, as Atal has it. Gets a good dribble in, passes. Deevak, desperate at this point, needs to find something. Neymar onto the line. The defense is just too strong from the Beast. There's nothing for him here.
Way too many players tracking back for this one. And it was actually a little bit unfortunate. When you got the initial through ball, his Mbappe wasn't in a nice position to pass onto, so would have ended up offside if he tried to release the ball at that point. Forced to hold it up, but this also gives back time to Julio. He's on the edge of the box right now, looking for a way through. Key pass back to Neymar. Neymar can't get the spin because look at the force, look at the strength. Mbappe literally shoves Neymar off the ball, and the turn attempt not going to be there. And instead it might go the opposite direction. Fortunately for him, Leon Goretzka reads out the passage of play, and there will not be a goal. But the time is dwindling down. How there's little time to go, or there will be time for one, as we're almost at the end of regular time.
And yeah, I mean, that desperation attempt after he passes the ball on to Mbappe, just trying to find the opening. I feel like he should have tried to take a shot earlier, but there's still another opportunity here. The keeper
What a save.
has to lunge for the save. Goes to a corner. The corner's taking in. It's going to be a fast one. Keeper does catch it, but that's it. That's all she writes. And it was looking like we might be getting a bit of a game here as Deevak opened up. But the Beast, the composure, just too good, manages to win it off.
Oh man, not just the composure, but the poaching. The fact that he stole away that first goal in game 1 ultimately ends up being super instrumental, not just in terms of him getting the goal, but the pressure mentally on Deevak. Because every goal that was scored against him in this one, it's now that extra goal that, oh damn, I'm still down. Let's let this. I imagine this was game 1, where he just has the 3-2. Then you can reset, be like, whatever, I just need one more goal. I've already scored goals against them, but when a goal like that is stolen away from you, we'll feel hard done by it. But great game from Julio. What an introduction. What a debut.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I was keeping quiet so I muted my microphone so that I wouldn't disturb the casters because I was screaming at the background for all of those goals. It was exciting action. Watching the Beast come through and deliver a masterclass in football. Literally, Deevak couldn't do anything. The midfield was crowded out. He was losing the ball. It was just amazing football to see. And Kaká with the moves, the finesse shots, Messi. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner for today's matchup, TheBeastBianchi versus Deevak. It is looking awesome. Now, I can't wait to see what the leaderboard looks like now. Woo! Dendo, talk us through this one. What are we looking at?
Yeah, I mean, we're still looking at Unfazed sitting at the top there. Unfortunately, Deevak isn't able to get this win that would have potentially pushed him up there. Beast getting onto the board, sitting at our fourth position. And then we have Deevak at third, Masom sitting in second place. So pretty much an expected top half. I think Snare can agree with me on this one. We've got, some of the youngsters sitting towards the bottom over there, which is a little bit of expected. Obviously, some of their matchups have been difficult so far, but so far, so good. So far, some exciting FIFA 2021 in the Umzansi Esports League.
And it is good to see the table shaking up and taking shape as we move on in the Umzansi Esports League Season 3, of course, brought to you by Nodwin Gaming. And it is going to be an excitement. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for us today in the FIFA 21 segment. We will be right back after a short break to bring you more action in PUBG Mobile. Right now, I want to give a big shout out to Tendo and Snare for doing a great job and breaking down all the plays and the trails as we've watched these two matches. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you right after this break. This is still the Umzansi Esports League Season 3 brought to you by Nodwin Gaming. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. It is the Umzansi Esports League Season 3 brought to you by Nodwin Gaming. My name is Dr. Sid, here with the amazing Esmery and Pachi as we bring you the amazing, awesome, heated action from PUBG Mobile across the African continent. Hey guys, Pachi, Esmery, how are you guys doing today?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah, sure.
Are you ready for some exciting PUBG action? We've got 3 maps, 3 amazing games that are going to be explosive, literally, because we've had action. The leaderboard is hitting up. Speaking about the leaderboard, let's take a look at the updated leaderboard for PUBG Mobile.
Yeah, let's.
Patchy, do you want to talk us through this?
Yeah, let's jump. So 4KT, of course, sitting at the top with 101 points. So that really hasn't changed just yet. G3 Tampa catching up really nicely. 99 points, very close behind second place. And of course, Rain from Hell sitting in third place, 86 points, going down to fourth place for Immortalz with 74 points. Sincerity picking up fifth place with 71 points. Gun sitting on 68 points in sixth place. Undisputed AE, 64 points in seventh. And of course, Zero Tolerance Skills in eighth place with 63. Now, UAE is going to be playing, I believe, in this one. I can't remember which other teams are going to be playing off the top of my head, but that's definitely one to watch because UAE was actually leading when they finished their initial groups in the beginning of the season. So I'm interested to see if they're going to be able to keep that up. And then, of course, moving into the next page of the leaderboard, NFxUNIQUE is going to head this one up in 9th position with 54 points. 10th position, we have Influence Rage Africa with 50 points. BBC picks up in 11th position with 49. Spaza 6 with 46 in 12. Natural Killers with 44 in 13th place. We've got Ultra 6 in 14th place with 40 points. Outsiders Official with 15 with those 39 points. Citizens Gaming in 16th position with those 36 points. So, yeah, heading down. Obviously, the numbers are pretty close still.
And it's good to see the distribution of all these teams from the country, and effects from Mauritius, the South African teams, the Nigerian teams as well. I'm super excited about the obviously distribution of the countries across Africa to show that we are really pushing the African continent. There we have obviously Rainbow Six from Madagascar. We have Pain Africa from Somalia, the Drogons from Nigeria, Aphelion Apex from Nigeria, wrapping up 17-21. We have the Young Thundercats in 21st place from South Africa. The Comfy Cartel from South Africa as well in 22. Lag Esports from, if I'm not mistaken, what is that, Rwanda? I need to get my flag. I really need to learn my flags. And then we have Black Clover from Mauritius as well, wrapping up the third page in 24th place.
Yes, I mean, these teams are doing pretty well. We've had a lot of interesting upsets, especially with a couple of the teams coming through from the Incorsi qualifiers, obviously, moving through those promotion matches. It's good to see that those teams are still very close to the top parts of that leaderboard. We've got Nibble Esports as well, one of the teams that we're going to be seeing today, Blank Legion, one of those teams that came through the Incorsi promotion games. So a lot of teams, from Group A and Group C really showcasing a lot of skill, and some others still yet to show us what they're fully capable of. I think a lot of the ones towards the bottom of the leaderboard really looking to make a stand, making, potentially taking away one of those winner chicken dinners. It's always going to feel good. And the points distribution, Patchy, here we are. So, I mean, we've talked about this before. A team can't just sit and play passive. A team can actually just go for that aggressive plays. We had Undisputed actually doing that exactly, back to back, like the Avengers, as Sid said. And they were just taking kills left, right, and center. And that ultimately was one of the reasons they were leading, right?
Yeah. I mean, this point structure, actually, as we have it right here, 15 points for first place, 12 for second, 10 for third, 8 for fourth, 6th for fifth, 4th for sixth, 2 for seventh, 1 for 8th to 12th. But this is the interesting one, 13 to 16, 0 points. So that is really bringing it, bringing the importance of placement actually up quite a lot. And then, of course, 1.1 kill, which is still absolutely huge. But that really does place emphasis on you need that balance, because you don't just get free points for placements now. You have to get your placements up, and you have to get those kills up as well. And that's the only way that you will solidify your position at the top. Right now, we're going to be really watching the fight for those top spots. And of course, with those top spots comes the promise at the end of all of this, at the end of the season, is of course the winners of that prize pool, which is $15,000 out of a total of 17,500. 2.5, of course, being for FIFA 21. So there is definitely something pretty big on the line that these teams are going to be fighting for.
And as I was saying, I remember yesterday, I had this really cool thing I said because I was like looking at the teams on the leaderboard. Only the top 24 teams will make it through to the next phase, and the teams on that last page need not fear, because if you want to have a euphoric experience, you have to be gaming, and not gaming will definitely get the teams at the top nibbling away at a leadership position, and you might get some blank points and end up toxically being removed from the tournament. Obviously, we don't promote toxicity here, but you know that it is. He's laughing. You saw what I did there, right?
I did.
Ladies and gentlemen,
As soon as you see the nibbling, I'm like, wait.
let's take a look at the squads that are going to be competing today.
Just look at this man. He's flexing on us, Patchy. He's starting us up here. But yes, as he's so beautifully rhymed there towards the end, we've got Group A versus Group C. Now, I mean, Ultra 6, Aphelion, Apex, Blank Legend, Fear, Black Clover, Undisputed AE, and Spaza 6. Now, a few of these teams obviously coming through from the Incourse Super Cup, and we mentioned it the first night that we started with this journey. You know, we really wanted to see those teams that have come through the promotion bracket actually make a statement, and I think they really did well. Undisputed AE really surprised me and really impressed me, and I'm interested to see if they're going to continue that again. Obviously, the scoreboard now not reflecting that. Not at all, really, but they really held on to that first place for quite a while. I mean, with the kills that they were going through, and I still remember that nail bite of a finish on the last map. But it's going to be good, Patchy. It's going to be good. We've got some other teams that I haven't had an opportunity to see myself yet. Of course, one of them being Gun, which is one of the teams we were really looking out for from the previous season. Lag Esports, Cartel, Pain, Africa, of course, Drogons, Nibble Esports, Natural Killers, and Toxic Esports. I really can't rhyme all of those names as nicely as Sid can, but what I can say is I am looking forward to seeing what Gun is going to be showing for us tonight.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that one. They're showing yesterday, especially, and recently. You know, they've certainly been coming into their own a little bit more, getting a bit more warmed up. So if they have a similar showing today, then we're definitely going to see some big things coming out of them. But like you said, Undisputed AE also have something to prove here, because they were in the lead for quite some time. So their showing initially was pretty good. So we'll have a look and see if they can actually replicate some of that success that we saw them start so strongly off with.
Well, I cannot wait for the flight to take off and take us in to our first map, which is Erangel, and looking at how and which one of these teams is going to shake up the table, as we say in Nigeria. The truth of the matter is that the PUBG Mobile teams that play in Africa are definitely showcasing the best of the best when it comes to African esports. And that is what Northern Gaming Africa brings to the esports scene. And at this moment, I need to remind everyone, if you are not following Northern Gaming on all our social medias, you need to do so now, because you are missing out on a lot of information, not only about the Umzansi Esports League, but also about the Inkosi Cup and other activities that happen that feed into this amazing system that is esports in Africa. Esme, I know you've mentioned a few things today, but this first map, who are you going to be rooting for, or who are your maybe top two picks to get a winner chicken dinner? And I want to ask you the same question, Patrick.
Ooh, okay. Putting me on the spotlight here. So I'm definitely putting my eyes towards Gun, because they've been one of those teams that we've been watching for seasons and seasons to come. So I want to see them. I want to see them come through tonight, and I want to see them, guns blazing, not pun intended, unfortunately. But I also really want to put some pressure on Undisputed AE. I mean, they just really absolutely dominated in the first couple of maps that we saw on the first day of the season. So that's in my mind. I want to see it happen again. If it's going to be the reboot of the Avengers, number 5, number 6, number 7, going through for Undisputed, I want to see that tonight.
Awesome. Pachi?
So I have high hopes for, obviously, Gun. I think, they are quite strong. They are most likely to give us a good showing. I think that's expected at this point. But I really want to see is the Natural Killers stepping it up, because we saw them yesterday doing some things there. They started to look a lot better in terms of their performance, in terms of their attacking. It was looking really good. When we saw them right in the beginning, it was kind of like, you know, where are the Natural Killers? Are they going to show up? Yesterday, we saw them executing some really nice, surgically precise, in my opinion, attacks on some of the defensive positions that some of the teams are holding up, and they were doing a really good job. They unfortunately got caught out by G3 Temper, and that's just something you can very rarely avoid. But they're not in this match. G3 Temper can't catch you out this time. So there's a bit of a chance for Natural Killers to shine here a little bit and actually bring some more of their aggressive gameplay over some teams that could potentially not really be able to fight back against that. You know, we have some teams from the bottom, the very bottom of the overall leaderboard in this group. So there is definitely a potential for some of those teams that are maybe struggling against the higher end teams to maybe perform a little bit better here today.
That's great. Once you mention it, I'm actually personally rooting for Pain Africa from Somalia, because I think they are the only team from Somalia in this tournament, and I believe that they have an opportunity to represent for their country and put Somalia on the map when it comes to esports. And this is the best opportunity and the best platform to do so. So, you know, thinking about, we always talk about strategies, and we talk about maps, and we talk about, how the strategies vary from map to map. And, from my understanding of PUBG Mobile, Sanhok is like this little map where everyone is close quarters, everything is tight, you get loot, you prepare for close quarter combat, and that's what it is. And then Miramar is this big, huge map. But as we go into Erangel right now, you guys are going to do an amazing job breaking down what it is and some of the strategies these teams are going to employ to try and get away with a chicken dinner. So at this point, as I always do, leave you guys, the viewers, in the capable hands of Patchy and Esmarie. They're going to talk you through all the action. This is the Umzansi Esports League Season 3 PUBG Mobile Tournament.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sid. Let's jump into Erangel, first game of tonight's games, and it is Group A versus C. We're going to see what happens as the flight path takes us from Miltapau all the way over to the western coastline of Erangel. So let's have a look and see what we're going to be seeing today. Have you got any predictions? Maybe are we going to see a slow start to the game? Are we going to see a quick start? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the first map of Erangel that we saw on day one, we had a lot of the teams really going aggressive, really just trying to get as many kills as they can, obviously making a blast. But this time around, we've still got a lot of maps left. We've still got a lot of weeks left of Umzansi. So I think a lot of teams are going to be going to, their comfortable spots on the map, as most do in Battle Royale. An area that you know really well. Take your loot phase, take it as long as you can, get as much as you can. But already, I'm seeing a little bit of a contention here. So we might actually have a fight break out quite early on, and that's going to be a little bit of trouble here. So it's interesting to me. I think most of the teams would like to have a slow start, would like to, leave things relatively uncontested. But I mean, you can see here we've got lag already close to poor old Miyagi over here, who's a little bit surrounded as Zero is rotating through. So he might be looking at a 1v2 right early on. And obviously his teammates are well aware. You can see there on the minimap, they're going to be grabbing a car, heading right through towards him, potentially to help him out in this situation. Because, I mean, we've got 59 alive, 15 teams left, and of course, as we mentioned, you don't want to be those first 16 to 13 teams that are dropping and not taking any points for all of your efforts.
Yeah, that's actually a huge one, and that's actually something that I think should change the game. I'm not sure if the teams will actually adapt to this. I hope they do, but that is actually a huge way to change the game, because then it's a case of, all right, we can't actually just sit and play very, very slowly in the beginning and then speed things up later, because if you're any good, right, you have the potential to take teams out at any stage of the game. But if you wait all the way until the end, sort of mid to end game stages of the game, you're going to be doing yourself a disservice. And so, of course, coming straight on up is, of course, going to be lag as they take their first kill of the game here. knocking out a player. Not the team just yet, but they are going hunting at least. That's one for them, and they're looking for a few more, doing some damage and actually on the road as well. So it's some nice early aggression. This is what I want to see. But back to what I was saying is that this is actually what we need to see. Because if you wait all the way until that mid to late game phase to start your attacks, then actually things can be so chaotic or so difficult in terms of the space that you have, in terms of the rotations you have to make, in terms of where the zone is. You might just find yourself in a position where you get taken out. And no matter how good you are, you can't stop yourself from getting shot by like 3 surrounding teams, you know? So if you take those teams out early and you punish them early, then at least you secure yourself a position outside of those 0-point slots. So getting that early aggression in becomes so much more important.
And it's not just securing your spot. I mean, you're obviously getting those extra kill points, right? And as we've seen time and time again, some of the teams that really struggle with placements do really well with kill points, and it sort of evens out towards the end. Obviously, the power combo is just getting both. Get as much as you can, hold on to what you can. And I mean, looking at it now, most of the teams are relatively split out, so there shouldn't be so much early contention. We obviously had Ultra 6 and Lag, having a little bit of a brawl there, taking Miyagi down, but Ultra 6 still alive and well with 3 members remaining. They're going to be able to get out of that fight and still hold on. We still have 15 teams left, so every single team that is, potentially going into a fight now has to worry about that placement issue. And they might take a couple of kills, but then they'll be taking 0 placement points, and it's not the power combo that they need to get themselves up on that leaderboard. As we said, top 24 going through, so the points are really important here. And with that comes through the importance of places on rotations. Where you're going, are you going to be running into teams? Are you going to be taking, the risk of using the cars? Obviously, to get there faster, but giving away position, you might have a little bit of a car chase on your hands, depending on the rest of the teams. And it's all of these things that a lot of these teams do really well at considering. And, rather them than me having to worry about all of these points in the game as you're trying to fight, as you're trying to hold on, they have to worry about all of these aspects. So, I mean, really, kudos to them rather them than me. I'm glad to see that a lot of these teams really have improved. I mean, from the first season that we started, we were talking about it a little bit in that first day, that these teams have just thoroughly impressed me time and time again with the strategy that they employ, with the way that they handle this game. And we can see actually now a little bit of rotations coming through. So Spaza Gaming actually on the just behind Fear Gaming going through, and they have to literally take the same route over the bridge from the military base. So if Fear decide to just hold this, it depends. I don't know if they know that they've got a full team right behind them, but the same can be said for Black Clover. They're just behind, I think, Gun, from what I could see. So does look like Fear might be considering it, but they're just going to run off for now. So Spaza should be fine to go through the bridge. They might take a couple of shots, but thankfully they've all got mobile vehicles to get them through. So actually, for you, we were talking about a couple of storylines just off camera. What are you looking for in this game? What are you looking for?
So I've already sort of tipped my hand a little bit in terms of what I'm looking for. Obviously, as I said, I suspect that Gun is most likely going to have a decent performance tonight overall. I'm not sure if we're going to see it in this game specifically. They gave us some really good Miramar maps in the past, so I'm perhaps going to be waiting for that. But I do suspect that they're going to be performing at least very well here if they continue to keep up what we've seen from them recently. And of course, the Natural Killers is somebody I'm looking out for as well. Black Clover is actually another team that I'm keeping an eye on because they tend to head up that sort of mid group, and based on how they do generally tends to reflect on how the teams around them will perform as well. So I always like to keep an eye on them specifically. For the moment, we do have Spaza here on the bridge, and Fear going to be doing a little bit of counting here, stopping them from going all the way across, putting those shots in and really just making the tough time of the Spaza. They can't really cross now. A couple of shots coming back straight in it towards Fear, so it's a little bit of a back and forth here on this bridge. Could potentially be a little bit dangerous if any third parties are in the vicinity, but for the moment, it's just Fear versus Spaza.
And the worst part of all of it, right, is they're doing this outside of the zone. So as soon as that blue circle comes through, it's just going to add even more pressure. I mean, it is first zone, so it's not as much damage as the rest of them, but it's just that added pressure that, not only do I have a team blocking my path, I'm taking damage, I'm losing consumables, I'm losing bullets. Hopefully for them, they've had a good time, looting their military base, but for the rest, it might be a bit of an issue. So Fear, actually, they've got 2 set up quite close, and then the 2 in the back line there to potentially take the other fight. But Spaza time that they've got left, they're going to take the long rotate to freedom here, and they're going to choose to back off from this fight. And
Smart.
can they though?
Yeah.
They're going to go straight into the zone.
Yeah, luckily it's only the first zone, so it's not going to be the worst thing possible. If there was ever a blue zone that you were going to tempt, it should be this one. You know, if you make your decisions in terms of rotations, well, hopefully you don't hit trees, but most of the time, the first blue zone is the one that you want to be going into.
It's just a little tap. There's a little tick damage.
Yeah, just hug the tree. Just hug the tree every now and then.
No, we don't want to hug trees.
No, we do want to hug trees. Yeah, just
no, we
that's exactly what we want to do. Yeah, just give the tree a hug.
Batchy,
Come
trees
on,
and blue zone are bad combinations.
Nah,
don't listen to Batchy. If you're watching, please don't listen to Batchy if you're playing PUBG Mobile, because this man's crazy. Looking at it now, though, we've got another potential fight running through. I mean, Toxic, they're looking and they're hunting for a couple of the players here just on the horizon. So, maybe a little bit of a contention. I mean, we still have 15 teams left. There's still 3 potential teams that are going to suffer in terms of those points if they go down now. Ultra 6, they're actually the team rotating through. And we remember, Miyagi, he lost early on his life. So now Ultra 6, they're going to be taking on a 4v3 here. And Toxic, they look like they're well aware. They look to be, just running around, looking at all the angles, waiting for some sort of a fight.
Yeah, we're going to see if anyone's going to come out on top of this one, or if we're just going to see another disengage. A really good disengage by Spaza to keep themselves alive in their engagement. We'll see if any of these teams will take something out of that book. For the moment, though, it's just Toxic rolling on up, trying to get themselves somewhere. I mean, this is a team that is sitting right towards the bottom of the entire log, and that's definitely not where you want to stay. So they're looking for something, looking for opportunities, trying to get into a position where they can make something happen. But it's difficult, it seems like, for them at least, it seems like every time they set up a wall, it's not really a solid concrete wall. It's more like a big rubbery, flexible wall, and anytime an enemy comes close, it sort of just bends backwards away from, the actual engagement. So not really being able to find anything concrete there on that side. As we move forward to UAE, this is a team that I am looking forward to seeing perform here, because this is another team that has a lot to prove. They've got to move themselves back up towards the top, which means they've got to get some chickens, they've got to get some kills. So there's a lot riding on these games here tonight for them. So hopefully they can actually bring something here and actually put some of those points on the board, because we've seen a lot of teams now taking over with, obviously, of course, 4KT sitting at the top of the log. UAE maybe looking to put themselves back up there once again.
Yeah, 4KT, I mean, they've been really doing well. I mean, they did very well in the previous season. So for them, hopefully it's business as usual. But for the rest, they're looking to knock them down a peg. And this high rise might be a little bit of a problem. It's just a straight on stare down here between UAE and, of course, Blank Legion. So just Potato. He's just waiting. Just peek me, please. Just peek me. Say hello, and then I will say hello with my gun, with my guns, with my bullets. Looking at it now, though, it's been quiet. You asked me, like, are we going to have a slow start? Are we going to have a fast start? We've dropped one member. One person.
Yeah. Nobody wants to be that first team to go out. It always sucks to be the first team to go out. But I go back to what I said earlier. I think it's a bit more worth it to actually risk it for the biscuit earlier on. I think if you're a team that's confident in your ability to attack, or at least pick something up, definitely go in for the kill and actually go in and finish it off. And I think that's going to be really, really useful. At the moment, Blank Legion putting up a good fight, taking some pot shots at Undisputed AE, and that has resulted in a knock. So they are getting something done here. Blank Legion not going down without a fight, and they're playing the long game here. They're not exposing themselves. They're just peeking, getting the shots, going back undercover, doing the same again and again, making it difficult for UAE to find anything. And of course, because Blank Legion have the advantage in terms of cover, UAE finding it difficult to flush them out just for the moment. Now, I'm hoping that maybe they decide to get some alternative angles, maybe go for a bit of a flank pincer attack or something like that, and actually start to try and flush them out, unless they're not feeling all that confident. Right now, they're just okay to take those long-range engagements. Once again, I feel like, these teams don't really want to be the first team to go out, or either the first 3 teams to go out. So everyone's just playing it really cautiously. But once again, I'm going to say it again. If you play this game too long, then it becomes very unpredictable later on.
yeah, it's going to be chaos. I mean, we're looking at zone 3 now, and everyone just keeps backing off from their fights. Like, I understand rotations into the zone, absolutely. But the question now begs itself, what are we going to see towards those final zones? I mean, it's already getting pretty small. You know, the areas that everyone has to work with, it's getting a little bit rough. And you can see here, Undisputed AE, they have found an unfortunate victim. Rusty is making sure that no one is getting out of this alive. So with that, that's unfortunate. I mean, the Comfy Cartels are going to have to just lose a member so that they can keep the team alive. And, oh, natural killers as well. They're doing a little bit of damage. So just on the other side now, we're getting a little bit more fights, you know, breaking out. We've got a few people down and a few unfortunate teams looking for the recovery, but not an easy way to look at it and not an easy path to do so. Oh, Comfy Cartel, I mean, they're taking quite a little bit of damage here, and their position is very well known. I'm worried. I really am. I think that final zone is going to go quick. The amount of teams that are going to be clustered in such a small area. Oh, Rusty, you can't do that. Man, the shots are really coming through here. And again, it's great for Undisputed. You know, they've proved to be one of those teams that aren't scared of fights. And they might be one of the teams to cause a little bit of chaos in such a passive Erangel that we're looking at.
Yeah, it's a difficult position at the moment. The natural killer's getting peppered by those long-range shots. Aphelion Apex putting those shots in as well. So there's a little bit of an engagement going on here between Aphelion Apex, Comfy Cartel, and the natural killers. It seems bit of a triangle of damage going through. Cargate trying to find some angles. I'm not going to find anything just yet, but there have been some shots exchanged. The Mini 14s being whipped out and trying to get some shots in. Gun actually going to find some of their own toxic. Unfortunately, going to be on the wrong end of the stick. Broly going to put those shots in as well. The Bison going to find its target for the time being. So everyone is getting a little bit uncomfortable as things are getting closer and closer. Gun have rolled up. The natural killers trying to put some shots in. Osiris goes down next. This Gun are pounding away at their defensive line here. Not much cover to utilize, of course, trying to hit behind those cars, but it's very, very little cover to utilize. Some long-range shots coming through. True going to land some hits, as well as Broly going to make things very difficult for the natural killers at the moment. It looks like a big square of just engagements going on at the moment, and this is the sort of chaos that we knew was going to happen because of that slow early game.
And it's not even, you know, a case of, oh, it's, you know, final zone, it's all the teams, you know, fighting out. We still haven't dropped a single team. We haven't dropped a single team. And now a lot of these teams like Cartel, for example, who are member down, now have to look at team kills, you know, because they're not getting anywhere in terms of placements just yet. They have to go for those kills. They have to obviously solidify some sort of placement points for them. It's a little bit more damage, you know, breaking out. Obviously, a lot of the teams running into each other as they're trying to rotate into the zone. Undisputed AE, one of those teams that actually have a beautiful position just to hold their ground, take a couple of shots, potentially take a couple of kills as well. They've already taken one from the Comfy Cartel, and looking for more, of course. It's, I don't know, this is a little bit rough, as you mentioned. Looking at where the zone is most likely going to finish, I think a lot of the teams are going to be in an unfortunate position here. Comfy Cartel as well, taking such a long rotation through, and it's weird to me to see all of these teams play so passively, right? And I understand the reasons why. I agree with the reasons why, but at the same point, you have to make the question, okay, if we're looking at final zone, who's going to be at the advantage point, right? It's going to be the team that has been there sitting, they've got the position, they've got the advantage, you know, they've read the zone beautifully or by sheer luck even potentially. And then where does that leave the rest? They're going to have to just pull out the stunts here if they want to take those placements.
Yeah. Yeah, the idea is that we're probably going to be ending in Watertown. A lot of the teams seem to predict that. We've got UAE sitting up here. We've got Ultra 6 moving up, so they have sort of predicted that Watertown finish. And if we do have a Watertown finish, it's going to be absolute chaos. So we still have 15 teams left on the board. It's going to be nuts to play in this as a final zone. Fear putting some shots in towards Black Clovers, and they are not feeling all too good about that. UAE popping some grenades over towards Ultra 6. In the meantime, Black Clover getting hammered as well. So Blank Legion, Gun putting some of those shots in. Spaza doing some damage in towards Lag. Aphelion Apex also taking some damage. Everyone is getting hit, and we knew this was going to happen because now it comes down to positioning, it comes down to luck, it comes down to who is unfortunate enough to get caught in all the crosshairs, and that's what this game has now become. It is, can you pull the trigger, can you rotate, can you shoot fast enough? It's no longer a game of strategy, it's just reaction, it's just pure gunplay at this point, and really just who has the better position at the moment. And really taken a lot of the skill and just forced it forward, and these teams just have to whip everything out, just put everything to the top and hope that it works, hope that the best they have to offer is going to be enough to carry them over that line. So let's have a look and see if it is Matrix. Looking forward to all of those kills potentially to pick up with so many teams in the surrounding area. That blue zone is moving in as well. Watertown looking absolutely packed at the moment, and probably going to continue depending on if the zone does go further in this direction, which of course we are waiting for at the moment as we move in from zone 4 to zone 5. Things are going to be looking that much more difficult. We finally have dropped the team, sitting on 14 teams at the moment, 46 players, but of course those numbers are continuing to drop as those kills come in.
You can just see it's just circles of contention all around the map, and Cartel, ooh, they're going to be in for a horrible rotation there, especially if we've got a couple of the teams who know that they've taken the long rotation through. They've got literally one way out unless they want to take a bit of a swim. And the zone, not looking great for most of the teams here. Not looking great. We've also got Vindog just on the outside, still rotating through. Fortunately for him and for Spaza Gaming, they're rotating straight into guns. Crossfires there, so some shots going through. And teams unfortunately dropping, as we've mentioned. One of them that are in a little bit of trouble is Fear here, with only 2 members remaining. You can see Swaggy is down, and the shots are raining through. Natural Killer's also taking a couple of shots and putting some in to Fear. So that contention starting, the players are starting to slowly but surely drop. That means a lot of the teams are hurting right now. They're in positions where they don't want to be. They're taking fights at not their full strength, and as you can see, I mean, just the potential here for third parties is endless right now because of how passive everyone's been. Oh, I don't know. Like, at this stage, if you're Fear, for an example, you've got 1 member alive, looking for the res, but so cautious right now because around every single corner, there might be an Osiris who's looking to take you out here. Oh, a couple of shots coming through, a couple of nades getting cooked, ready to take everyone out here. Blank Legion also taking a couple of shots, and I think that might have been Blank Legion that's gone down. We'll have to wait and see. For now, I think a lot of the teams here are in trouble. Fear, Chris, he's still fighting it out. He's still somehow managing to stay alive for his team, but that's going to be that's going to be all that it is there for Fear Gaming. As they go out, Natural Killers are going to be happy with that fight. Still 2 members remaining. The res should come through, and they should have relatively safe passage through into the zone. That is, of course, if Undisputed AE doesn't spot them out. And Gun here looking for a couple of shots, just going through the wall. They've got all of their members right now, so they're happy. They're sitting pretty in the zone. Happy to take a couple of shots because they don't have to worry about that rotation, whereas most of the teams do. And I mean, if we do end in Watertown, again, so as you mentioned, it's just going to be about reactions. It's going to be about who's going to be hitting the shots the best at this point, because you're going to be in such a horrible position for rotations. I mean, it's a classic thing about Erangel, right? You're going to be rotating through the open fields. You're going to be rotating through the absolute chaos that is just bullets flying left, right, and center. And unfortunately, there for Detective, maybe a couple of nades mixed in.
Yeah, it is not an easy time, and with those explosions coming through, the nades, the exploding vehicles, the shots across the field, the zero cover, everyone is struggling. Absolutely everyone is just in a complete predicament. And now with the zone rotating down south away from Watertown, all of these teams are going to have to rotate through, and that is just going to be a disaster for them. They're going to be exposed. There's going to be no cover. No one is going to be having an easy time of this. They're going to have to just try and hope and pray and throw as many smokes as they've got to try and get through this one, because it's going to be nuts. The bullets are going to fly non-stop at the moment. The teams are looking for those kills. They know they have to rotate, but they know if they're the first ones to do so, it is going to be a tough time for them because there are so many crosshairs trained in their direction. So they are moving forward. The smokes are being utilized as the rotations come forward bit by bit as they use the houses as cover. moving forward down south towards that zone, trying to take up position there, but it is going to be super tough to do that. The teams out there in the fields are so exposed, taking so much damage. Now Gun trying to move forward, take the fight against all these teams here. Lag right up ahead of them on the other side of the hill, but Gun have managed to get across that line just barely. Some of their players at the very least have managed to do that. Not everyone's in the zone. They're all skirting towards the outer edges because they know the further in they get, the closer they get, the more exposed they are. Look at these crosshairs. Everyone knows where everyone else is. Everyone is spotting one another out. It's absolute mayhem and madness for these teams. Knock after knock, shot after shot, rearranging of the vehicles to try and get some cover going, but everyone is in such a tough spot. Look at the zone. It's tiny. There are so many teams just crammed up in there with absolutely minimal cover. The shots are coming through. El Chapi trying to find some shots in there, but he's absolutely getting hammered. UAE putting the shots in as well. Kage goes down, and everyone is fighting for their lives with so little to work with. Their low HP bars. Everyone is getting hammered from every direction, and even from the blue zone. It's a tough time out there here for the first map.
Yeah, Pain Africa, you can see they're just behind the Reds. I mean, the Reses are coming through, so they're still going to have 3 members remaining to take those couple of fights. I think they had a little bit of a sacrifice. One of their members running through there with a car, trying to take the, the attention away from Undisputed AE, and it worked out. Now we've got Rusty, alone and afraid, lone member of Undisputed AE, who has to look at the rest of 5 squads on the map here. He's doing well right now. I mean, in terms of placements, he's really helping out his team. He just has to worry about Pain Africa just on the other side of the ridge, who I think should know that he's here, that he's waiting, and that they are ready to take him out. If they got a couple of nades cooked and ready, that might be it. I mean, just look at this final zone, and I mentioned it. If you're on Erangel, one of the things that you hate the most is being in open areas with no cover, only a ridge here and there to work with and to potentially take your fights from. I mean, actually, Al Chapo, I'm pretty sure he's just spotted, unfortunately for Rusty's sake, I think he's pretty much just spotted Rusty. So now the cars are coming through, or they can also just run through that. At this point, though, Gun is the team that's taking a couple of shots here, and they're in a little bit of trouble as Matrix is really just taking aimbot out for the count, and Rusty, he's just hiding. He's just like, please, don't see me. Don't look at me. No, don't look at me. No, just go. No. Okay, but it's fine. We're moving on. We're down to the top 4 right now. Pain Africa doing very well, making Somalia proud. And now we're looking at our top 4. We've got Gun. Oh, they're in the middle, actually. They're sandwiched, and now they're actually busy taking a fight here with Pain Africa. Or is that... Oh, this is a little bit funny now, because we've got 2 teams that are pretty much sandwiched, but they're still taking the fights. They're not scared. And the cooked nades from Lag are actually going into Pain Africa. So, oh no, we are down to 2 teams almost immediately. It's Gun, it's Lag, it's the 2 on 3 basically that we can look at. And this is going to be interesting. I mean, Gun, they've got the advantage, right? Lag, they're completely split up from each other. They can't fight. They can't fight back to back. But Fantasy is going to do good to find Nerf Me. Only 2 members remaining of Gun, and make that only 1. It's only Plaza, and somehow, someway, Lag clutch it out to take Erangel. Man, Fantasy there with the 8 kills.
Wow. Wow. Who saw that one coming? Certainly not me. When I was going into this one, I definitely did not expect these guys to be coming out on top. But here they are, sitting right with that chicken dinner with 10 kills to their name as well to start things out. But what a chaotic map. Definitely, I think that was insane, the way the game ended. Some really good final management there. But it was chaos. And I think that map could have been managed a lot better. I think it could have been played a lot better. I think there were some strategies that could have been utilized that would have made that a lot better. But at least we got a spectacle, and it was quite a spectacle.
And you know what they say, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. With teams out in the open and having to switch strategy, we saw Gun and Lag Esports come up with some amazing plays to be in the final 2. And we saw a winner chicken dinner for Gun. I mean, you did mention that you were hoping to see them come out better in this particular game, and they did so. I'm super impressed with Pain Africa. Like, they heard my voice, they knew what I was saying. I was reaching out for them to get me a great game today. Let's see basically very quickly, if we're ready, what the leaderboard looks like right now, because with those games going through, the points on the board, there's a lot of shifting happening. Esme, do you want to talk us through this?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm so sorry, Rusty. I got the names wrong, but he was really doing well there for Aphelion Apex. You know, holding on, hiding behind the cars, hopefully just praying that Pain Africa wasn't going to see him. But ultimately, they took him out, and I think they took him out in 5th place. Pain Africa then between 4th and 3rd we're looking at, and Undisputed AE ending up there in, I believe, 3rd as well. So for Gun and for Lag right now, I mean, they're sitting in top 3 as well. Actually, our top 3 is sitting in top 3. Not quite like what it's on the scoreboard right now, but this is interesting to look at. So yeah, I don't know.
We'll make some adjustments to the leaderboard and have some corrections when we come back from the break. But looking at what it is right now, I mean, those top 3 teams, Lag Esports, Undisputed AE, and they've done some amazing work. As we look at the bottom part of the leaderboard, it's tough.
Yeah. I mean, Spaza Gaming and Black Clover, unfortunately, taking no points, as we mentioned, like Legion, Nibble Esports. I didn't really get a chance to see Nibble. They were also quite quiet, and it's weird. I think I saw one of the remaining, members just on the edge of the zone there. Patchy, you can correct me, but as well, one of the teams that really, unfortunately, just kept running into unlucky situations was the Comfy Cartel. I mean, time after time, they were losing members because they were busy trying to take a rotation through and just running into the crosses of, either Aphelion, Apex, or I think at some point it might have been even Undisputed or Gun. They just kept rotating into the wrong people. And for them, I mean, this is the scoreboard that we're looking at, right? So Group A versus Group C, first map Erangel, quite an interesting one, I think. Quite an interesting one.
Okay, now let's take a look at the MVP in our first game of the day.
I mean, is there any surprise there?
No, definitely not. That was an impressive set of 8 kills. I mean, basically carrying his team even further up the leaderboard than they got from that first game. So yeah, it makes sense.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are super excited. We've got one game down in the Umzansi Esports League Season 3 PUBG Mobile. You can tell by the action that there was in that game. It is going to be non-stop action as we come back for games 2 and 3 in this day 5, or if I would like to say day 2 of week 2 at the Umzansi Esports League Season 3. I'm here, Dr. Sid, with Patchy and Esmery, and we will see you guys right after the break. Welcome back, everybody, to the Umzansi Esports League Season 3 brought to you by Northern Gaming Africa. I am Dr. Sid here with Esprogzy and Patchy as we are bringing you all the action from PUBG Mobile. It has been an amazing game one. Let's take a quick recap at the leaderboard to see who's topping the matches for today.
Yeah, Erangel was quite surprising, Patchy, I'd say. I mean, we started off so quiet, so passive, so avoiding. Everyone was just avoiding everyone, and then towards the last couple of zones, it was just all hell broke loose on Erangel. And we're looking at it now. I mean, somehow, some way, you know, we had lag and we had gun stuck in between each other. And they worked it out, and ultimately, lag came out on top. Undisputed took beautiful points there in terms of the kills that they managed to find, but ultimately, Gun came second, Undisputed AE came third, and Pain Africa, they took that fourth place, even though, I mean, they were in trouble after trouble after trouble. And Rusty, the lone man, managed to get that fifth there for Aphelion Apex. So, I mean, some really interesting, you know, plays towards the end there. Patchy, how did you find Erangel? It was crazy.
Yeah, I must say, like, I was expecting Gun to do all right. I definitely was not expecting Lag to jump up to the top and get that. But the thing is, this is something that we've touched on in pretty much every previous season so far, is that if you have a very, very passive early game, you're always going to have that craziness at the end. It's just always going to be like, especially if the first half is passive, like we saw in that first game, it's always going to explode. You're always going to cross that line where it's a case of, oh damn, there is no team that has been eliminated just yet, and we have to rotate into a tiny zone. There are like 3 teams on either side of us, plus 3 teams in the zone where we want to go, and 3 teams behind us. It's like, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. That's just how it is. It's going to be crazy. You're going to be shooting in every direction. You're going to get wiped out, and it's not going to be based on your skill at all. You could be the best team and you could just get absolutely wiped out because there's no ways you're going to win that. I mean, if you manage to sneak away or somehow slip through or maybe pop some smokes down or just get into a vehicle and run past, like maybe you're going to be able to make it. If you can go from cover to cover, you can survive, but that's it. You're just trying to survive at that point. And I mean, that's what we saw from a couple of players like Rusty. He's just there like, yo, you know, I'm trying to be out here. I'm trying to survive. That's what it is. You know, like if you don't control the game in the beginning, you're not going to be able to control it at the end. That's how it works. So what I always say is that you have to put the play into motion at the beginning of the match and then watch it play out. If you remove some teams, you make it so much easier for yourself late game.
As soon as you said Pop Smoke, I was about to break into a dance and do some join with the home. But it's good to see the team from Mozambique taking a winner chicken dinner. And I can't wait to see what the overall leaderboard looks like after game 3. But ladies and gentlemen, we are gearing up to go into my favorite map of PUBG Mobile, Sanhok, where we have some close quarter combat, CQK, as I like to call it, you know, K from the Mortal Kombat series. We have to expect that somebody is going to shake up this table today because Lag Esports have done it in game 1. I would like to see a different team come through, maybe Fear, maybe Nibble, maybe those guys who are not gaming to come through and show that they are gaming and get some points. Esme, what do you think?
Yeah, Nibble. I'm also waiting for Nibble, right? So I mean, I remember watching season 1, 2 of the Umzansi League. It was insane. You know, I often saw Nibble just making moves, making plays. So it's weird for me to see them now so quiet and so reserved. But I mean, that goes for everyone. Everyone was so quiet and reserved, and it's bizarre. And I get it. I do. The passive game is so much easier than, you know, taking those gambles, taking those risks, and taking the fights to people. But as Patchy said, and as we keep saying, if you do that, you're going to fall into that situation that, for example, the country cartels kept falling into. They kept rotating into everyone because they just kept running away from everyone. And I get it. I understand. They were in such horrible positions and they kept just finding themselves in the worst fights ever. Oh, my heart breaks for them. But it's because you're not taking those fights. It's because you're not making the plays. It's because you are leaving the teams to get the positions on top of you and take you out. So I want to see Comfy Cartel. I want to see Pain. Africa, they did really well. They survived what they really had no business surviving. But yeah, I'm interested. I think a lot of the teams are quite competitive and anyone can take it at this point.
So, as our specialists have said, the teams, I hope you are listening, go for it. Take it straight to your opponent. Don't be passive, because if you don't deal with it now, you would have to deal with it later. And that being said, this is me, Dr. Sid, taking a back seat and leaving you in the variable capable hands of Esmery and Patchy as we talk you through all the action from Sanhok.
I just love messing with Sid. I'm gonna be honest. Every opportunity, I'm gonna find it to mess with him because he messes with us. He mixes up our names sometimes, and he just throws syllables and vowels everywhere. But Patchy, putting that aside, we are on Sanhok, which honestly I love the map because it's chaotic. I love the map because it's only 4x4 blocks, and because it is so small compared to every other map that we have in the PUBG diet as we look at it, and that's so. It's quite interesting as well, heading towards that north side. So a lot of the teams actually are well within the center of it. You know, some of the ones we can see is Natural Killers, Spaza Gaming, etc., etc. But for the rest, like Aphelion, Apex, and Gun here, gonna have to look at rotations really, and gonna hopefully get a better looting phase going. And as we've mentioned, you know, Sanhok, one of those teams that, I mean, third parties, fourth parties, fifth parties, everyone can hear when you're taking a fight. Everyone knows where you are at any point. As soon as you shoot, as soon as you use a vehicle, they can hear it. So it makes such a different, you know, sort of gameplay that pops out of these teams, because all of a sudden you can't really be passive. Because again, I mean, if you thought it was horrible on Erangel to get into those chaotic moments, on Sanhok, if you're not the team making the plays, you're the team getting played on.
Yeah, and in this particular map as well, you know, you have two sides of the coin. You have teams that like to take it quick from the get-go. You have teams that like to slow it down and try and control the map. But it's very important that that last part happens, that you control the map. And that's the same thing on every single map in this game. How you do it differs depending on which map you're playing. But in this one, if you can slow it down in the beginning, great, go ahead and do it. It will definitely prove to be a little bit better for your survivability. But this is the thing, right? If you're not focused on making things happen early on, even if it's just making sure you're prepared, then you're gonna struggle. And one of the things that I like referring to is way back, and I don't know if it was season 1 or season 2, but we had a team that was just, they were like, you know, we actually don't care what it is that you're doing in the beginning of the game. We're going to drop down. We're going to pick up some guns. We're going to kill you. We're going to prepare ourselves. We're going to move on. We're going to kill some more people, get their stuff. And we don't even care about going to a place and looting it, because we'll just kill you and take your loot. And you will have just gathered it all for us. So, you know, save us some spare time. We'll just pick up the kills while doing it. And that's the sort of mentality that we're lacking at the moment in terms of, you know, teams that have the confidence to try that out. I'm not saying it's going to be the easiest thing to pull off, but it is something that is definitely something that needs to be considered as a possibility, because, you know, if you start to do something like that early in the game, you make it a lot easier for yourself. Because if there are 15 teams remaining when it comes to zone 4, zone 5, you're going to have a tough time trying to isolate it. But earlier on in the game, you might just be able to isolate a one-on-one, and that's what you want to do. You want to isolate those one-on-one fights. You know, exclude the possibility of those third parties, because it's those third parties and the fourth parties that make it so difficult. So trying to take those early engagements definitely has a lot of benefits. As you can see, Nerf is absolutely doing exactly that. Going to be taking some early engagements and picking up some early kills and knocks over there for himself. Just, yeah, no problem. Crosshairs trained, shots fired, and done and dusted. He's basically wiped out 2 of those Blank Legion members all by his lonesome there. Picked up 2 free kills right from the get-go, and that's what you got to do. Isolate and eliminate.
You know, the worst part now for Blank Legion is they started us out as 3 members of the team. So now it's just Rambo to hold the Blank Legion hope and dreams alive. And for now, I mean, not a team has dropped, but definitely for Gun and definitely for Nerf Me here, he's going to be happy with those 2 kills, extra loot, just feeling good, you know, and it's that confidence that you run through. I mean, yes, we're a little bit biased. We obviously wanted the teams to see the teams, you know, taking those contentions, taking the fights, you know, just giving us those chaotic moments that we just love to watch. I mean, that's where the bias comes in a little bit, but as we put it, you know, it really does have a lot of advantages to it. And you know, we can go on and on and on and on and on about how much we just want these teams to fight it out. But here's Fear, here's Chris in particular. Oh, and he's just showing off right now. Look at that. Going to be taking one down. Of course, there, Coco. Unfortunately, he's knocked. His team members are nowhere to be found to take this on right now. And instead, for Chris, he's got backup. He's got team members waiting for those rotations. And if you're Spaza Gaming right now, no, I just Coco. It's fine. You can chill there. It's okay. We'll see you in the next map. We'll sorry, Spaza 6 actually here. Is just gonna unfortunately lose a member and just gonna have to deal with it, as taking this on right now would just mean that Fear have the best sites, the best setup. You can see they've all got buildings, they've all got the beautiful angles, the crossfires are there, and they're just waiting. Looking at it now, rotations coming through. You can see 6 Gaming now. Spaza 6 are actually rotating through there from Camp Bravo. They're not going to be going towards Fear just yet. They've obviously made the decision. Unfortunately, Coco is going to have to be left behind. And rotations are now starting. We've got Aphelion and Apex actually still quite far behind. They're actually still pretty much in the same area where they dropped, and now the rotations have to come through. A couple of the teams pretty close to each other, but they should be fine in terms of avoiding those contentions for now, which it seems like they're wanting to do. You know, based off Erangel, it seems like everyone is just taking the easier way through to the zone, looking for placements, looking to just stay safe. That airdrop is looking juicy though. Someone, please. It's got some good stuff. Please, just go get it. Go get
it. Urging the teams onward to find some loot for themselves and maybe start some fights. Fear looking to maybe do that. Pushing up, trying to look for something. Nibble the same, also looking in the surrounding area. Lag putting the shots in towards Fear as they make their approach. So there's some pretty decent action going on. Nibble is looking as well, but they are getting hammered, so they do have to be careful here. The Drogons just ahead of them, putting some shots in across. Dan gonna find those hits. Nibble needs to be careful. They are a little bit split up. This could be a problem. Fear also going to take some hits as Lag continues that assault. Puts those shots on across as the Drogons now pushing over in towards Nibble, who find themselves in not the best position at all. Ronnie actually just retreating out of the situation, which is going to leave Sidon and Vindog pretty much by themselves to just get taken out. So that is a bit of a rip.
It's a 1v4, and it's the same situation as Black Legion, right? So Rambo, he's got both his team members, dropped. They started out as a 3-member squad, and now, what do? It's 1v4, and I mean, yes, we keep saying, make the plays, but at some point, let's just be smart. Let's look at this realistically. 1v4, yeah. Gonna leave it. So yeah, I think Ronnie there, as much as we've been saying take the fights, this is the better option for him right now. The solo player for Nibble gonna have to look at placements, and once again, I want to see Nibble, man. Nibble, is an organization that I absolutely love. So for me, I just want to see them do better, but they're just finding themselves in situations that are not great. We'll see if it changes up later on, but for now, for Sanhok, for this map, Ronnie, get placements, man. Get placements. Stay alive and just hide. Hide if you can. Looking at it now, though, 6 going to be finding themselves in a little bit of a situation here. Mojo is down, knocked out of the count. Smokes are being popped to try and get that res off as soon as possible. And potentially they can reset before what it looks like Gun actually is pretty close to them as well. So this might be a little bit of a situation early on, which is nice to see. Still not a single team has dropped. So I remind you, those placement points. But Gun, they're definitely looking hungry for this one. They've also taken a couple of shots. HP not looking too great. No Brain. He's there up on the hill. So if he's got a nice long range gun there, he can actually really help out this fight. But he has to worry about Lag just behind him. And again, we mentioned this, Sanhok, one of those maps, it's tiny. Super, super tiny. So any sort of fights that you take the added risk of knowing that everyone else is going to know exactly where you are.
Yeah, and there are some teams that are really good at capitalizing on that as well. For instance, obviously G3 not in this game, but they can do a really good job of that. We saw it previously when the Natural Killers were going crazy on this exact map, trying to get themselves some kills and then just getting taken out by some very decisive rotates by G3. And yeah, that was pretty much done and dusted. So, of course, if that is something that you can do, go ahead and do it. I mean, you got to take every opportunity for kills that you can find here, especially on this map. As things progress, you've got to make it happen. We're heading in to zone 2 now, moving in closer and closer towards the 3. And as that starts to happen, once we step over that line, moving in towards the 4th zone, it's going to be really tough. Things are going to just speed up. Things are going to heat up. It's going to be chaos once again. So these teams really do have to decide what it is they want to do. Some rotations have to come in there from the south, as you can see. Pain and Cold as well, also making his way up there. And they're brave in the blue zone, which for the time being is still fine, but they have to be careful. If they do not make it up once the blue zone moves over towards 3, they are going to find themselves in a bit of a tough spot, depending on where the zone goes and if there are any gatekeepers. For the time being, it is just the teams spread out, very centralized, most of them at least getting themselves inside the zone, inside that cover. Everything is fine and dandy for them. We're not seeing any insane engagements just yet, but they are coming. And of course, as you said, with this a bit more of a safe approach coming through here, which is definitely something that you can do on this map, we're once again looking forward to a bit of an explosion of chaos later on.
And on Sanhok, of all maps, But, Sanhok, I feel like it's one of those maps that really caters to that kind of chaos because it does provide a lot of cover for most of the map. You've got a lot of trees to work with, a lot of, huts, a lot of rocks, a lot of broken fences here and there. So there's a lot of objects around you that you can really use to your advantage. The ridges are also a lot more extensive. So, I mean, you can kind of cover yourself as much as possible, which is fantastic. But yeah, we'll see later on. We've already just had a team drop, which is great. So, Pain Africa now taking the long rotates in the zone. Not too bad of a zone to work with here. I mean, it's only the second one, so it's not the worst. They've got the vehicles to work with. They're obviously going to be giving away a little bit of sound cues as they do so. But it's not the worst case. Now, Black Clover actually still in this. I'm not seeing anyone near them just yet. So they've got some time to just relax, get the loot up, and work out a strategy here. I mean, it's weird. It's still weird to me how quiet things have been, especially on this kind of a map. And we had so much contention early on, but then it's just the sacrifice game. Just the sacrifice game.
Yeah, it's a tough game to play, especially, when you have so many teams still up, 14 teams at the moment on the map. You can actually see we've got Apex sitting on towards the west, pretty much alone on the remnants of the island. Haven't really found the need to rotate just yet. The zone is still forgiving for the time being, but we know that changes super, super quickly. So you have to be really careful about positioning from here on out. Bootcamp super empty, so Pain can move up into that direction if they would like to do so. No one is going to really give them any trouble in doing that. A lot of the teams just sitting for the time being, waiting for that zone to see if they're in the right position or not. We're about to find that out. Everyone else just holding up, keeping their positions, keeping their defenses up, looking to see if they can get anything for free, but not overextending. UAE taking a little bit of damage and actually putting some return of fire in towards Fear as well. So there is a little bit of a bout going on in that direction.
Yeah, and I mean they're pretty close to Spaza 6 there. So I mean Spaza 6 they can go for the third party, but as we're looking at Matrix, rotating around, going to be taking out Chris, looking for more. The jumping SMGs are coming through, and so far it's not a fun time for Fear, as they will be your 14th team actually dropping out of Sanhok. So unfortunately, Fear Gaming this time around not going to be looking at some high placements. They're unfortunately not going to be getting any placement points for that, but might have taken a few kills here and there. The res is coming through though for Undisputed AE, so they're going to be happy with that. I mean, that was a good kill, that was a good team taken out, and now they're close to safety, right? We're getting close to that point where teams don't really need to worry about losing or not getting any placement points, so they can potentially, be a little bit more bravado, sort of just taking the fights and being a little bit bold. But consumables are going to be a question here. So Patchy, I have a little bit of a question for you. We're talking about maps, we're talking about how small and tiny Sanhok is, and we've been saying, teams need to fight. In this scenario, though, would you still say that? I mean, if they fight, it's third party.
Oh yeah. Now, the thing about this map is that it definitely is a bit of a change up from what you would normally expect in Erangel. Yeah, isolate the 1v1s early on, get it done. In this map, you can try and isolate those 1v1s earlier on, but it's actually a lot more beneficial for you to slow the game down and actually get yourself looted up first. Make sure that you're in a good position and then go for it. We've already passed that point, so we're not really in a position where just fighting is the answer. You can see that most of the teams are concentrated in there towards the center of the map. If they started to fight, it's exactly like you would say, the third parties 100% would come in and just absolutely annihilate everyone. It would just be a chaos fest. There would be absolutely, it would be no strategy. It would just be run and gun and hope you survive. And of course, that's not really what you want. You want to be able to control the situation as much as possible here. So really, with these rotations coming through, it is going to be pick your fights very carefully. It's going to be a war of attrition. It's going to be who can find the hits, who can find the knocks. I mean, any little bit of damage that you can do to your opponent right now is super, super huge. It's going to be a trade of utility. It's going to be a trade of players. It's really going to have to be a very precisely done, a precisely executed sort of play at this point. You really can't overextend. You can't slip up, because as soon as you make a mistake, you absolutely will get punished.
I just saw a lone member of Aphelion Apex still in the zone rotating. He was so far off. I think he was quite close to ruins at some point, but man, that is a long rotate. I'm gonna wait and see if he's still alive later on. But for now, I mean, you've got Spaza 6, we've got Lag. Obviously, Lag, they've taken a little bit of shots. Zero's out for the count. Unfortunately, didn't really see it coming. I mean, these roos are amazing for getting those beautiful angles on your opponents, and that's unfortunately what happened there in Zero's case. And oh, hello. Are we seeing a little bit of a third party? Yes, just timing in, saying, hello, I see you hiding there. I'm going to take you out for myself. And I mean, he's doing well there with 2 kills already. Now Fantasy also, I mean, he was our MVP previous map, and he's proven that he's got the reactions. He's got the aim. He's got everything in his power to really make it so difficult for the rest of these teams. Oh, looking at it now, though, some beautiful angles here. Romeo has to be careful, quite low on HP, and if he just peeks out for even a moment, Lag will not hesitate to take him out. And if it's not Lag that they have to worry about, it's, of course, Jeff, it's Dan, it's Zuka. So, careful, careful. You've got pretty much everyone here at Paradise looking for you to take you out.
Yeah, and it's this is going to be the situation from here on out. It is not going to be easy. You peek out, you die. Everyone is pretty much aware of the surrounding team's positions, so it's going to be really difficult to catch a team by surprise. For the most part, of course, there could still be a little bit of the surprise element because of the chaos that we're going to be seeing, but for the moment, it has to be really really well decided actions. Teams have to make sure that they do not slip up here. So Romeo going to be making some moves, going to be trying to get some rotates through. Gun going to be putting some shots in towards Undisputed AE. Potato goes down, and Sahil also going to be hitting the deck. So a little bit of a tough time there. Nerf just putting those shots across. Gun looking to collect some of those kills, not make it very easy for what's going on. The rotation is coming through, so they can get themselves across that line into the zone. Of the time being, Gun looking pretty dominating in terms of that particular space. Here we got the Drogons getting a little bit of a tough time as they try and move through. The rotations coming through from all across the board. Spaza moving through as well. Toxic here to try and catch some of it, but ultimately they are going to have to rotate as well. All these teams are going to have to rotate. Sure, it's great to sit here and catch out all the rest of the rotators, catch them out one by one, collect some kills, but ultimately you're going to have to make that same rotation at some stage, and you might just get punished for it as well if you're not careful. Some shots coming through as well. So things are really heating up now. Gun taking some of those long-range shots as well. And certainly you can do that if you can spot them out, take the shot. It really is just a matter of, getting those damage points done. War of attrition style stuff going on here.
Oh, I saw Ronnie there, and I'm still seeing Ronnie there in the kill feed. He's actually getting some kills, still a lone man there from Nibble. I was just saying this man should survive. He should just relax, he should hide, he should play the placement game, but he's still in this. He's still getting kill points at this point. Obviously, you know, using that third-party method, as the teams are fighting each other, he's just finding opportunities after opportunities to get some kills for his own. And Drogons, and a little bit of a problem here, as aimbot and Gun. I mean, Gun have been insane. I actually think Nerf Me is doing really well in terms of like going for that MVP. He's been getting kills after kills after kills. Fantasy also clapping back, getting some of his own, and Drogons. That's not going to be nice for them. Unfortunately, going to be looking like they're going to be going out for the count. Oh, look at that team kills. Gun now sitting on 17 kills. They've been really good at capitalizing off of those third parties. And Ronnie, no, leave Ron, leave him alone, please. Coffee Cartel, they on the high rise, looking for more. Oh, Lag just charging through, taking out Lynx now. His teammates are there, they're trying to help out, but what can they really do? Lag is just running through, they've got Zone to worry about. As I say that, Zone will be taking out Lynx. Fantasy coming through, taking out Mojo. Aphelion Apex also taking some kills. We're down to the top 10 teams. The chaos is brimming, and Sanhok is really just turning into a gun show.
Yeah, it absolutely is, and this is what we were expecting. We knew this was going to happen. The Blue Zone hot on the heels of all these teams, and it's just pressure from all sides. 9 teams remaining, 28 players left alive. The Blue Zone on the heels of the teams as they start their rotations, like moving up, trying to outrun the zone, trying to put the shots into Pain, but they are delivering those shots just as well. So Pain trying to fight back, but they all have so much to worry about. The Blue Zone's about to move in, about to make things tough, and it's 5 Blue Zones deep. That's way too much damage. These teams are in a very difficult situation. That's a bit of a problem. Lag gonna have to throw themselves in to that rotate and maybe into that water as well, depending on how this goes. I mean, this is just absolutely nuts. Everyone trying to stay alive here. The shots coming through from Gun, Lag under pressure. Everyone under pressure. Nerf Me just ready to collect those kills, waiting for those rotates to come through. Pain getting taken down. The Blue Zone, everyone's just shooting at them. This is such a tough time. Lag trying to jump across, manages to escape the reign of terror from Nerf at the time being, but man, look at that Blue Zone. It's right on the heels, trying to get the heels up, but look at this. They're about to get squished between a rock and a hard place. The knocks come through, the bullets come through. These team numbers are definitely going to be dropping very, very quickly, and Gun have put themselves in a great position for the time being. They've got a good spot to just absolutely wreak havoc. Cartel doing some shots as well. Broly going to put the hits in. Lag goes down. Fantasy going to be hitting the deck as well as Lag. You get taken down one by one. 8 teams remaining now as the shots are still flying in that zone, getting a whole lot smaller, but Gun still in a great position, holding up in that house.
Yeah, Cartel, they've definitely just come back with a vengeance here, getting some beautiful kills and really making it tough for natural killers that you can see. It's true, and Ilala just around the corner looking to take them out finally. And that would be a wonderful addition to their team kills. They've only got 2 for the moment, but they've been doing a lot of damage. We've been seeing them time and time again in the kill feeds there. Oh, this is going to be interesting. So the way that this is going to turn out, right, it's literally just going to see who's going to be taking on Aphelion Apex, because they're just around the corner. So Cartel, at the moment, they are sandwiched, and we can see Natural Killers now taking a couple of shots here from Cartel. And Gun actually also losing one member there to a knock. So looking for the res, they do have cover at the moment to work with, but everyone just, they've woken up, right? They're on Sanhok, they're here like, hey, we're all in this tiny little area. Let's say hello to our neighbors. Let's give them a couple of bullets. You know, maybe not the kind that they'd really be wanting right now, but hopefully some kills will be going our way. Aphelion Apex, there's the lone member that was from Aphelion Apex that was taking that long rotate to freedom. Unfortunately, didn't make it. Now Aphelion Apex down to 2 members. And no, Ronnie! No, I saw you. You did so well. Finishing in top 5 is Nibble Esports. So he really did fantastically for his team. Gun now under a little bit of pressure. First time we've seen on Sanhok so far, which is great for everyone else. But look at this. Cartel here on the rock. They've got beautiful angles. Below them, though, is Aphelion Apex. They can obviously hear all of these shots going through. Whether Cartel are aware of this situation or not, it's going to be interesting. We'll have to see how it works out. But Gun, I mean, they've basically got 2 teams just trained on their position right now.
Yeah, this is really tough, especially since now they also have to make the rotate as well, as the zone has moved off of their position. Cartel are still going to be able to keep their spot on the top of the hill, But Gun, they're not ready to give up just yet, putting some shots in towards Apex to try and stop them from getting those third parties. You have to eliminate all those possibilities right now. Gun is in a very difficult spot. They have to get those kills. They have to try and bait them out. And indeed, that's exactly what they're doing. Plaza jumps out, baits the peak. Nerf just puts the shots in, but now it's Cartel. Process trained in Gun's position. They're just putting those shots through, and Gun cannot respond. The high ground is under possession of Comfy Cartel at the moment, and they're just finding it so difficult to push past them. Nerf putting the hits in does find True, has to find a whole lot more. There it is. They're finding some of those kills, but Comfy Cartel still have the position. Gun have to be careful. They're going down now, pushing through. They had to make the rotate. It was forced right on them as that zone comes through, but they are forging forward, putting the hits in. It's Nerf Me, the guy who has just absolutely spearheaded this push and been spearheading those kills for Gun at the moment, just making things happen. 2 teams remaining. It's Gun and it's Apex at the moment. Basically just Nerf Me versus the world, really. Kage looking in the direction of Aimbot, trying to pick up that last thirst there for the kill, but it's Nerf Me. He's got the position. He knows where Kage is, and I'm not sure if Kage has actually heard this one. His crosshair is still trained towards Aimbot, takes the kill, immediately moves inside, and Nerf Me could take the shot down to a 1v1, and he does land those kills. So Gun will take a very spicy chicken dinner with 13 kills on the back of Nerf Me.
What? Are you okay? So the name suggested, but Gun, they're leading the pack. I think ultimately what we're looking at, I can't even believe I'm going to say this. Looking at 18 kills for our chicken winner dinner. Just absolutely amazing here coming through from Gun. Not only did they take the W, they've taken all the kills from the map, from Sanhok. They were looking comfy there. So I don't even know how it turned around there. I mean, Cartel had everything going for them. And then Gun just came through with the aim. Supreme.
You know, Pachi's been talking about Gun since the beginning of this tournament, and they are showing up today. Listen, with the winner chicken dinner, that was amazing. Like, even a Nerf Me, 13 kills. That is probably the highest kill count I've seen since this tournament began, if I'm not mistaken. Probably the stats guys can correct me. You know, Pachi, what was your highlight in that particular game right there?
Oh, I mean, it really has to be the end for sure. I mean, like, there were a couple of good moments, but that ending was really, really solid coming out from Gun. They were under such pressure. I mean, being in that house was good for quite some time, but then the zone shifted away from them, and there were 3 teams that were outside. Now, one of them got removed, but there was still Apex and Cartel, of course, up there on the hill. And they were holding them down really, really hard. And of course, Gun had to make a plan. They were like, how do we get this rotate with no cover against a team that is ahead of us and a team that's got the high ground? How do we do this? And they were able to really play so well. They had a bit of a jump bait. Somebody jumped out of the house, baited the peak. They got some really good shots. The aim from Nerf was just absolutely brilliant. Those pinpoint accuracy shots coming through, and then they just had to jump and go for it. And as they ran forward, there was a bit of a split. 2 Gun members went one way, Nerf went the other way. Those 2 eventually went down, but it was enough for those pinpoint precise shots coming out to just get the knocks that they needed, isolated eventually into that 1v1. And then Nerf had the positioning because the call-outs from the team was solid. He came up, he got that final duel, and he won the shot. So that was just, yeah, that was really well played.
Wow, that was well played, and well played by you, Pachi, with the actual analysis of how it went down. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Dr. Sid, Pachi, and Esmery, and we will be right back from after this break to show you the standings. It is still the Umzansi Esports League Season 3. See you in a bit. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Umzansi Esports League Season 3 PUBG Mobile Tournament. My name is Dr. Sid here with Esmery and Pachi, and we have just witnessed two amazing games of PUBG on Erangel and Sanhok. Only Miramar left. But very quickly, let's take a look at the standings for today's games.
Yeah, there it is, of course.
Why? Any doubt? Any doubt? Sitting on 18 kills? I mean, come on. Let's look at it. Cartel also, I mean, just a beautiful performance by them. Coming through in second. Black Clover also doing really well. I mean, they were under quite a little bit of stress. We saw them, you know, bits and pieces of them. Aphelion and Apex also holding on, I mean, somehow, some way. And here it is. Nibble Esports. Ronnie, you absolute madman, holding on for that 5th place there for Nibble Esports. I was saying it. I put the gauntlet out there and I wanted them to grab it, and Ronnie was the man of the hour. So really some beautiful upsets there. Of course, you know, our previous winner, like Esports, now in 7th place. So that just shows you how competitive these groups have really been.
Yeah, for sure. It has been a very difficult time. I mean, you could see that Natural Killers in the 9th place. Only 4 points in that game, not really able to find what they were looking for. Same for Undisputed AE. I mean, this is a team that grabbed 2 chicken dinners in the past weeks, and now suddenly we're sitting at 10th position for them. Pain also 11th place, 2 points. Ultra 6, 12th place, 2 points. Toxic Esport 13th place, 2 points. Fear with 1. I mean, Blank Legion sitting with nothing. That is really tough time there, but it was a difficult game. It was an insane game, and I mean, that's what it's been pretty much for the entire tournament. And of course, MVP Nerf, obviously, man with 13 kills, just absolutely going ham, bringing his team out of possibly one of the most difficult situations that we've seen so far in the season.
I can't help but say how his name just sounds like a dare. Nerf me if you can.
Do it.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Just do it.
Attempt and it's hard. I'm actually happy to see Nibble Esports nibbling away at the guys at the top of the standings. We did call out a few people like Black Clover, and they definitely did do very well in that last game. Let's see if they can continue that form on the next map, which is Miramar, which I always say reminds me of Afghanistan and opens up a lot of people for these long range battles. The sniper rifles come out, the strategy needs to be there for you to take all these fights. Now Apache, we've seen teams like G3 Temper hold it down on Miramar consistently. Now, of the teams in this particular lobby today in groups A and C, who do you feel over time has shown promise on a Miramar?
Well, I mean, the first thing, obviously, we have to say at this point is that if Gun, and specifically Nerf, is going to be playing like that, then we're definitely going to be seeing Gun do quite well. I mean, when the Mini 14s come out on Miramar, it's definitely a tough time. And if Gun's going to be hitting those kind of shots, it's going to be easy peasy. They're just going to be picking up the kills left, right, and center. Now, if there's any other team that's going to be stepping up to the plate, that's going to be a little bit difficult because, you know, the rest of the teams that we've seen so far, we haven't seen the consistency that we're looking for out of them yet. I mean, we've seen, for instance, Undisputed AE grab some chickens back to back, and I think one of the chickens they had was on Miramar. But then now we're seeing them, you know, go out in 10th place, and it's like, are they going to be performing like this again? Maybe. So maybe we'll see Undisputed AE be able to do something. Natural Killers as well. They were looking good yesterday, but they weren't finding what they're looking for, and now it's sort of taking a back seat once again. So I'm not sure if they're going to come to play, and that's really what we're waiting for. We're waiting to see if any of these teams are going to be able to come out to play, because right now, Gun has certainly come out to play.
Esmery, you think Nibble's going to do well on this map?
Look, the reason Nibble's in the position that they were is because Ronnie is just a mad lad. He was alone, and he still took fights. He really worked out beautifully with the timing there of Sanhok. As we know, third parties, fourth parties, fifth parties, they're all the way there on Sanhok, and he used that to his advantage. He was just stealing kills here and there. Just, oh, yeah, that one for me, that one for me. It was great. But on Miramar, we were talking about it. Sanhok, you've got so much cover to work with. You've got so many angles. You've got so many hills. Miramar's not that case. And you're back to that 8x8 block radius. You're back to a fantastically huge map. So rotations are crucial here. For teams like Aphelion Apex, for example, they were on the long rotates constantly. It's I can't see if Nibble are playing the same way that they are. No. If they show up, yeah, they can do it.
Well, awesome. Well, we are flying over Miramar right now. The action is about to start, and I'm going to leave our viewers in your very capable hands, Esmery and Patchy. Take it away, guys, and I'll see you after this final match of the day.
There it
Miramar,
is.
Miramar. Here we are.
Yeah, jumping in. It's Miramar. Big play area right here in this game. Long distances to work with, some very nice angles, some really good, capture the hill sort of vibes that you can get going. We've seen the best teams that are able to really utilize this map. We've seen them take up those positions on top of hills, on top of good vantage points, and really be a nuisance to other teams. And the way they do that is they see the flight path. They know, okay, in this flight path and relative to this zone, we know that there is a good hill here, and we could probably bet that there's going to be a good number of players in surrounding area. If we can get this position, we can set ourselves up here. We can start picking off a lot of players all over the show. Pick off one here, pick off one there. It is just, here and there, picking up those kills, and it adds up. They get those kills. And I mean, Nerf coming out with 13 points, basically, single-handedly doubling the chicken dinner for his team. That's huge. So, I mean, if you can get that kind of stuff going, it is going to be huge for your team. So here we go. Gun already starting it out, taking Toxic down. They're just like, yeah, you know what? Let's go. We're going to pick up some kills straight off the bat. I mean, we're here. We're ready. We're going. It's the last game of the day. Let's get some kills. Let's get another chicken, maybe, potentially, and end this off on a real high note. Gun making a bit of a vie for the top spots here.
Gun is the team that I can really get behind. We've been saying time and time again, they need to take confrontations, they need to take fights, they need to be making the plays, because we've seen how chaotic it gets towards the end, right? And somehow, some way, not only is Gun, the team that is taking those early fights, but they're also the team that somehow handle the chaos the best. I mean, the fact is they were 1v3 teams in that last battle there on Sanhok. We had Nerfme going to the right to take out one team. We had Gun not only fighting Comfy Cartel, but they also had to take Aphelion Apex, and they did that. They managed to take out 3 teams all by themselves. Granted, Nerfme was just, ridiculous and requires a nerf, but they did great. I mean, they took away 18 kills, and that's why they're in the position that they're in. So now we've got 14 teams. We started out with 14 teams, so don't let the numbers fool you. We haven't had a team wipe just yet. And for the rest of them, I mean, BC took on quite a bit of damage early on, so you can see he's still meting up. He's still trying to get himself sorted. The rest of the team's now looking for that contention. Pain Africa in the sights here of lag. And, the beauty of Miramar and potentially the danger of Miramar is he's got so many buildings, you've got so many angles to work with. Not only do you have to worry about what you're seeing on the horizon, what's left, right, and center, but what's above you. Who's looking down on you? Who is looking to take you out? And especially here, we've, Sid mentioned it, the snipers come out. They come out to play in, unfortunately for some people, the worst way possible. And I'm going to say it again. Ronnie, fantastic work here for Nibble. Again, Nibble starting out as 3 members, and they did that on the previous map. I'm not sure if they did that on Erangel as well. So it's a little bit of a tough time for them because they're constantly on the back foot when taking those fights. So I really hope that maybe they've reset and they can take this one this time, just to give us a little bit of an upset.
Yeah, well, we'll have a look and see. For the time being, though, Pain is going to be moving forward, trying to get themselves up close and personal with lag. And we'll see if they can make that happen. For the time being, Pain just occupying the house, clearing it out, moving forward. Lag doing a bit of a fallback here and there, not really looking for the push. So they are playing a little bit more defensively here for the time being. You can see they formed a little bit of a wall and waiting for Pain to push their way on into it. In the meantime, there's Lynx with that sniper. Car 98 coming out to play. Trying to find those long-range shots, putting in a bit of a damage in towards Nibble. Going to whip out the M4, put some shots across, but not going to find anything more for his troubles just yet. So just making Nibble's day a little bit more difficult, but ultimately nothing too crazy just yet. Vindog actually with a bit of a reply. That Mini 14 coming out and saying, hello, we see you, and also take this damage as well. just because
like
you know
that.
that's a bit rude if you shoot at us for no reason. So we'll pay you back in kind. And of course, here's Pain now pushing up towards Lag.
Ooh, okay. So I mean, we mentioned this, right? The buildings, the angles. Looking at it now, though, Pain, they've got a little bit of a better angle. They haven't yet spotted out Lag, but you can see they're well aware. They're looking for it. Ooh, got to be careful though on which roof you're sitting at, from which angle. Could be finding yourself in a situation or other. But Lag are actually going to be taking the fight to Pain Africa here. They're very well aware of where they're at. You can see it. Both teams, they're rearing their heads. They're just waiting. And oh, look at this positioning now from Lag. So they've got one on the roof. Can potentially surprise Pain Africa here. And I mean, the rest are just holding their attention. So they're waiting for those pieces on the windows. They're waiting to start that initial damage. And then the flanks can really come through. And I don't think Pain Africa are waiting for this. I mean, how could they? Surely not, right? Beautiful positioning here. It's going to be, it's really going to be about the execution. So as the smokes pop through, you see a couple of shots coming through. But nothing connecting just yet. Nothing major just yet. It's a little bit of a stalemate as both of these teams are just looking and waiting for the other to make their move first.
Yeah, they're not overextending just yet,
Ooh.
but I feel
Ooh.
like they think that that's clear. I'm not sure if they know that there is one of the Lag players sitting on the top of that building, so this might just expose them unnecessarily. If he holds the point, does give his position away, so they are now aware that there is somebody watching down on them, but they are pushing now up into the crosshairs of Lag. Pushing through, going to be falling back just a little bit. Lag has got a really good overwatch on the situation. The information is being fed through. All of Pain's movements are known at this point. So Lag, they've got the upper hand for the time being. Can Pain react to this situation at the moment? Not going too hard. They understand that they are in a bit of a difficult situation, trying to manage it, trying to get that leg up. Can they make an aftershock come through? One, finding the first. El Chapo goes down. Now fall back immediately comes through, not giving away any immediate trades to Pain. And this could be that game that they're waiting for. Zero taking another. That's the first. King goes down in the meantime as well. The thirst comes through, and now Pain are in even worse of a spot. Lag have been able to manage the situation. Comes in with the knock, though. There's the first one. Can they get a second, though? The Beast trying to make it happen, but will go down. Fantasy finding some shots as well as Pain get taken off the board. Lag, very well managed situation there. Absolutely well defended.
Really, really well done for them. I don't know what the call there was from Pain Africa to actually leave the building. I mean, it's not like the zone was pressuring them there. You know, they potentially thought they could be the ones to make the move here, and Lag, they had the angles, they had the preparation on their side, and they made it work. So, first team out of the board. Still got one more team to work with in terms of the placement points, safety net that we were talking about. You know, it's that 13 to 16. Those teams are not getting anything for their placement points. So there's still one more team in danger. Potentially here, we can see rotations coming through, and wow, Lynx, he's still alive and kicking. So you know that M14 really from Nibble didn't really make a difference. The Rez was able to pop off, and they were able to take the rotation. Don't hit the floor like that. Poor Buggy. You know, you're not gonna take it to the panel beaters. It's a horrible time. But immediately they find themselves in a little bit of contention here, actually in a horrible position as well, because as they pop out to take out the one from Undisputed AE, they find there's another just around the corner looking to take some shots instead. So Lynx, you survived, you tried, but you're going to be going down this time around. Unfortunately, they're going to have to leave him behind and then just focus on the rotation, focus on the placement, because they do not want to be one of the teams to go out now with 0 placement points. So nice little bit of work here from Undisputed AE to take a team kill and potentially take it even further. Looking at it now, though, we're onto the second zone. Of course, Miramar, massive map, right? Cards are crucial here for the teams rotating on foot through the zone. Not a fun time. It's horrible, and sometimes that's the case. You know, if you don't manage to find one and you landed really far, you're going to be in a little bit of trouble. You can see here now, oh, Nibble. No, as I was talking about it, when the team's not in a vehicle currently, taking the rotation all the way from Los Lezones through to the zone, and that's a long walk. That's a massive one. Lag going to be safe, UAE going to be safe, Six going to be safe, everyone's alright. It's just Nibble once again so far off in the zone. They still have all 3 members, so that's a good one to look at. The rest of the teams, though, they're happy in the zone. They're sitting pretty. It's just about those contentions, how those fights can break out. You can see Gun, they're running straight in the middle of 2 teams here. So that could end up being quite interesting. Oh, Ronnie, no, forgot to go. Oh, okay, no, it's fine. They got vehicles. Okay, no, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry. Whew. I was stressing,
Yeah,
man. I was
there are
stressing.
vehicles here and there, you know, thankfully. Otherwise, it certainly would have been a bit of a walk for them. At least they would have gotten some exercise in, but they have found the vehicles. They are moving forward, though the zone is, you know, just chipping away at their health bit by bit. Thankfully, it's only the second zone for them, so for the time being, they are all right. But it is going to be a bit of a difficult time for them to re-enter into the zone, depending on where they decide to come through.
And
Of course,
through who is the
yeah,
question.
exactly. I mean, that is pretty much the name of the game at this point. So, yeah, we'll have a look and see. Fear got some crosshairs on that Mini 14, looking to see if he could spot any of those Spaza members. But so far, so good for them, taking up a nice position on the top of this hill. So that's going to give them a good spot to get some spicy kills from. Whether they are going to be able to do that or not remains to be seen. But yeah, we're just waiting for things to speed up once again.
And it looks like it is. I mean, we were talking about Fear and Spaza now. They know where each other are. They've got the M14s. Oh, they've got some beautiful snipers to work with here. Not only do we have the M14s, but we've got everything that they could require for this long-range fight. So, I mean, at this point, both teams really in need of some kills here, really needing some placements. Need to make it work. And, I mean, Fear, they're pretty split up at the moment. They've got 2 to one side, 2 to the other. Spaza all together. They've got the buildings to cover them, and they've got everything in their favor, really.
Yeah, certainly do at the moment. Rusty putting some shots in towards Miyagi. Some good shots going to let him hit the deck for the time being. Some skirmishes breaking out here and there, but certainly waiting for something a little bit more concrete to really happen, as we see some magic flashing graphics here before our eyes. Fear making their
Just in
rotations.
case you needed a
through.
reminder. It's fine.
Yeah,
We were just looking at pretty
yeah.
logos, putting, you know, just a
Just
reminder for
filling
those of
your
you watching.
subconscious.
I do have to ask though at this point, right? You're still in danger of being that 13th team that's going to be taken out. That 13th team with no placement points. And I don't think Spaza have kills either. Fear, as we can see, don't have any kills to work with here. So then once again, you're one of those teams running away with 0 points. And just on the other side, if you know, as if you don't have to worry about one team, you also have to worry about Black Clover, who obviously have spotted out Chris here, maybe looking for more, just taking their time. And Kage going to be taking out Miyagi. So I mean, between Aphelion and Apex, an Ultra 6. It's going down. Hulk now, he spotted out one, just tapping away though. Somehow, some way, Coco is still alive. But now Hulk, he's going to have to deal with all 4 members of Spaza Gaming who are looking to take him out here.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's a tough time. They had a good vantage point, but not able to find those immediate knocks or kills, and now he is being pushed. Gonna have to react as quickly as possible. Fear moving into position to try and retaliate. As, yeah, they have gotten themselves into a bit of trouble with Spaza, moving up in towards that ridge. Hulk very much isolated as well from his team, but he's gotten himself into an okay position. Black Clover, in the meantime, getting hit by the comfy Cartel. We'll see if Hulk can repel this attack. Up comes Coco and the rest of Spaza. They are looking to take him out. They do not want this thorn in their side any longer. Smoke has gotten popped. Hulk just crawling around for his life. The rest of his team is in the vicinity, but this is going to be a tough one. Spaza right on the top of this hill, looking for the shots. Coco finds Chris in the meantime. The shots are coming through. Sophia now in a bit of a difficult spot, losing a couple of players. Spaza looking to just push this one. They're looking for the kill, and that's exactly what they need to be doing. But as you said, one of these teams might just end up going out in 13th position. That means no points. Hulk getting up out of the smoke. His footsteps are heard, but he has to find his moment to make it happen. He's going to get spotted out instead. Coco, very well done on the flank. Just comes around, spots him out, takes him down. The shots coming through from the rest of Fear to try and chase Spaza 6 away, but they're not having any of this right now. Putting those long-range shots in and just absolutely giving it to Fear. Putting Fear in their own hearts. Hulk, of course, getting taken down. That should be the end of him, and indeed, he will go down. And Spaza might actually just be content with that. A little bit of a retreat here, or at least calling in the vehicle to potentially either leave or actually make their way in straight up to the building. I do hope they push the attack right here. That would be great to see. Just push into this one and finish it off, get the kills, and indeed they are moving forward. The smoke has gotten popped. Deity and Romeo moving forward in that vehicle straight up to the Fear's controlled building. shots coming through now, and this is just absolutely going to turn into a slaughter fest at the moment. Lag also putting shots into the Drogons. And, well, we have just got some fights breaking out all over the place now.
I mean, this is exactly what we were saying, you know, take the fight, take the fight, take the fight, and this is beautiful. I mean, Spaza, they have the advantage. Surely, they've got one team member still on the high rise, taking a couple of shots, you know, being a little bit of a distraction now for Fear Gaming, because obviously they're focused on the one member. They've seen two come through, but where is Coco hiding? Deity trying to take something, but King is there to clutch it out, going to be taking him down as Romeo tries to rotate through and get that res off. At the moment, though, it's looking all in favor of here. They're really holding it. The molly's being popped. The fire's everywhere. Which way? And oh, actually, a little bit of King damage going his way as well. He's going to be taking both Coco and Romeo out, though. So it's only one member now, Spaza, that has to come through and somehow clutch this out. His team members are down. They're out for the count. This has gone all the way sideways now for Spaza Gaming, because what do they do now? Spaza 6, unfortunately, one member away, potentially a little bit of a res coming through. It's not going to be the case. Those Fangs is here to take him out, and he will be doing so. The last nail in the coffin for Spaza 6 as they go out in 12th. So they will take a little bit of placement points, and I think they took at least 1 or 2 kills. Not the worst, not the best, not what they obviously were hoping for in that scenario, but here it is, and we've got a little bit of a car chase as well. Brody here saying, hi, how's it going? Black Clover taking a lot of shots here. A little bit of damage, but so far everyone's still alive. Taking the cover as I say that, though. Oh, this might be a little bit of a predicament for here for Black Clover here. 11 teams, Batchy. 11 teams on Marima, 36 alive, and everyone is just looking for those kills.
Yeah, and that is what we like to see. An unfortunate situation earlier that we saw there. Really good defense. Ultimately, but yeah, things are getting tough at the moment. Natural Killer's got a really good spot at the top of this mountain. The blue zone is close, but they are still within the safe area, so they are fine for the time being. Toxic off to the side, looking for their foot in the door. They just have not been able to gain any momentum in the season just yet, and it really is unfortunate for them that they haven't been able to find that. And now, of course, staring down the barrel of the Natural Killers, they have a bit of a task ahead of them. Not impossible, though. It can be done. Now we're watching the comfy Cartel look for some shots in towards Fear. Are sitting in the building down below. Some shots coming through in towards Nibble as Zero puts those nails in the coffin there. So there are shots being exchanged all over the place. Fear getting hit as well. Squeak goes down in the meantime as some choice shots come through. There's quite a few angles to be wary of here, but Fear, they have to be a bit wary of that blue zone, which is coming up slowly but surely. They do have to get that rotate. And that's exactly what Lala's waiting for them to expose themselves before getting those potential picks.
We actually had a couple of predictions coming through, you know, from everyone on Instagram. And I mean, I see a lot of, you know, really some beautiful support for Pay in Africa, our Somalia team, really trying to hope that they pull through. And I mean, looking at it, we had a couple of players actually saying, you know, Gun's going to take it, Slime 4KT, Citizen's going to take it. Obviously not in this group this time around, but Spaza 6 was one of the names often mentioned, you know, and it's weird to see that this is where we're at. And looking at it now, you know, a little bit of team comms coming through, you know, just peeping into the brains and the minds of the toxic team here. Lala, you know, she's been, they've just been waiting for anyone to look around, for anyone to just pull up on them. Obviously waiting as I see Matrix popping up, saying, hi, how's it going? A little bit of molly drop there, but no one's going to be taking shots just yet. They have to be so scared right now because Fear's also pulling up on them. Everyone's going to be rotating to them. The zone's coming through. As you mentioned, Squeak just trying absolute best to hold on. The shots come through and just try to connect it. You can see there's just such a cluster here on top of the hill. Everyone taking damage. Squeak actually finding Sahil, and now they can actually push forward. They can actually take them out. Potentially, Lala going to be finding Matrix. Ooh. Squeak actually going to be taking the final kill on Sahil as, wow, Undisputed AE going to be out for the count top 9. Here we are.
Yeah, that is a little bit sad for them, not able to find another chicken here at all tonight. Definitely not getting the positions that they were looking for, but at least the Cartel will be able to move forward for the time being, although the Black Clover is moving in for some shots. True, just going to be left behind by the squad trying to outrun the blue zone. What a cruel fate has been left, but his teammates have abandoned and left him for the blue zone. And they've moved on to safety. Black Clover getting hit now as High gets taken down. Some shots coming through there. Lala trying to move into a good position, but there are so many players up ahead. Has to retreat, has to turn around, a bit of a swerve out of that particular situation. Apex right in front of them. So they're going to have to deal with another threat, but at least they are in the zone for the time being. Vibe gets taken down as Cartel putting those shots in all across the board, trying to get themselves a little bit of that slice of heaven just for now. Now, pushing up is, of course, the Drogons gun right up ahead of the Mojo, sitting there alone for Ultra 6, trying to stay alive, sandwiched in between some very difficult teams here to try and deal with. Gun still on their full team.
They're happy. They're sitting pretty. They've taken 2 kills. So it's not as explosive as what we saw in Sanhok. But I mean, looking at it now, we've got 7 teams left, 19 alive. I mean, there's been a lot of damage. I don't know how. I don't know. It still amazes me, but Cartel's still in this after such an engagement there on top of the hill. Looking at it now, Natural Killers, they're also still in this. They're one of the teams, you know, that we've mentioned time and time again that we want to see more from them. We want to see them really come through and surprise us because, I mean, I remember some of the first games that I saw of the Natural Killers. They were insane. But, yeah, it's... we'll see how it goes through. That zone coming in, Aphelion Apex, I think they've actually spotted out Cartel here. You can see the shots coming through. They're looking, they're gearing, and they're ready. The nades are popping left, right, and center as they want to take the Comfy Cartels out of this for good. That would definitely give them a little bit of peace of mind that to their left side, they should be able to, you know, relax a little bit. Brody, they were the M4 just trying to find Jeff. The Drogons under a little bit of pressure. But for now, nothing too crazy happening. Oh, that Molly, though. We're gonna pop through now, just for the Cartels to try and take the fight as it comes, and so far it's not going to be in their favor. Comfy Cartels out for the count, unfortunately ending in top 7, and Aphelion Apex, they're going to be happy with that. It goes in their name. Definitely feeling better this time around. They've got 7 so far. This time, you know, we said Gun was there with a vengeance. Now it's Aphelion Apex. Mojo here also trying to stay alive. He's just taking fights everywhere. Which way? Which way are you looking? Drogons. Oh, and oh wow, here's Natural Killers actually stealing that kill there. Now they're going to be good to take a few. Rotations come through. Aphelion Apex, they are down 1 member, but oh, it might be down a lot more if Nerf Me has anything to say with it. Some damage dealt. Drogons just going to be rotating straight into crossfire. It's between Aphelion Apex and Gun here, so it's not a fun place to be. We're down to the top 4. We're down to 2 members here for Aphelion Apex that have to somehow, some way, survive the onslaught that is Gun right now. Natural Kill is still quite far off, so they're still pretty happy with where they are. They're in the zone. They're just waiting. They've got quite a nice position coming through, and Toxic, actually the 4th team to rotate in, and might actually be a little bit of an upset here. We've got 4 teams left and 11 alive.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one to say the least. It's good to see the Natural Killers making it up to the top for the first time in what feels like a while, finally just solidifying their spot for the moment in the top 4. We'll see if they can make it any further. Nerf, of course, doing what he does best and just putting those shots across to the other side. I feel in Apex, some really good performances earlier, just before they made the rotate, but caught now in such a tough position, had 2 of their members taken away in the rotate, and now they're stuck because if they move out of where they are, they get hit, but also if they stay where they are, those nades will almost certainly come in and make their lives just absolutely difficult. So up comes Rusty, trying to maybe catch some players out. Nerf, though, the rest of Gun, they're going to be in the perfect position to just make sure that that information is going through to the team, and they are going to respond. And now Cold caught in the blue zone, nothing to do but die, really, is all he's got. He has to make the rotate, has to make the choice, and ultimately, he's going to take the death to that zone. And of course, that is the end of Aphelion Apex. Now it's 3 teams remaining. It's the Natural Killers, it's Gun, and it's actually Toxic still alive. They're lone
1
wolf
member.
survivor, yeah. Still alive for him, just getting those placement points. Well done to Reki so far. Now let's have a look and see the Clash of the Titans. This is going to be Natural Killers. Is it going to be Gun who's going to win this fight. At the moment, Natural Killers do... Actually, there goes Reki getting taken out by Nerf. Those eagle eyes of his just spawning those out there. Now it is Gun versus Natural Killers. Natural Killers with the height advantage, but up comes Gun. Can they make it happen? Is the question. Nova putting some shots in as they start to move on up, but Gun is going to be taking this. They know that they can make this happen. They just have to do exactly what they did previously. They are experts at fighting uphill battles, but can Natural Killers repel the attack? That is the question at the moment. We've seen them on attack, and Natural Killers defend. The smoke might not be enough to obscure the vision. Gun is actually set on fire. That's a huge molly getting taken down onto Pounds. He's very low on HP. One shot is enough to take him down. He's going to be in a very difficult spot here. Gun on the back foot as Nova starts to move on up. Spots up nerfly. That's a huge spot right there. Lots of damage done. Not able to take the kills just yet. Very, very close though. Some real fighting happening here. Natural Killers making Gun sweat for it. Are they going to be able to take the chicken though? There comes the shot. Nova finds the hit. That's one more down. Gun. They might just lose this one, and it seems like they might just be doing that as the Natural Killers have found every kill that they need, every knock that they need. Gun is not able to fight back at this point. Pound is going to get taken down. It's up to Nerf. Can he make it happen? The shots come through, but he is obscured in the smoke, and the rest of the Natural Killers are ready to respond. Is he going to find those shots? The pinpoint precision comes through once again.
No way. Are you... So... Okay, so we're just saying that once again, Gun is going to be taking everyone on and going to be taking the winner chicken dinner away from 4 to 3 teams.
And it's Nerf.
Of course, it's Nerf.
The rest of the team just set him up, and then he's like, "All right, I've got the whole weight of the world on my shoulders." He goes in for the 1v1 and he wins it. The rest of his team just makes it easier for him to take that W. But there it is, Gun taking another chicken dinner with a nice and spicy, what looks like 8 kills.
Wow. Just wow. I mean, you know, we're talking about precision, we're talking about aim, we're talking about really needing to nerf me, really. It's the name is not even a gamble anymore. It just needs to happen.
I see, I was totally confused because watching that, I honestly thought Natural Killers were going to take that. All the gun members were down. All the gun members were down. How did that happen?
Yeah.
Actually,
I can explain it. It was really difficult because it looked like the Natural Killers were going to win. Like you said, they were in a great position.
Please.
The fights, the angles were isolated, right? The Natural Killers had some really good isolated angles there. They trapped one of the members with Molotov, got him really, really low on HP. That was the go. As soon as they knew that went down, as soon as they knew they had some angles, Nova from Natural Killers was going in on that, and he just doubled down for that, aggressively pushed, which is the exact right call to make in that situation, pushing forward, getting the hits, and as soon as Pounds got isolated, he couldn't do all that much, but it was enough because Gun, they did the same thing as they did last time. Most of the team went one way, and Nerf Me, he was on the other side, and he was waiting, and as soon as that aggression that was supposed to happen, that's the way we expect it coming out from Natural Killers, as soon as that aggression comes in, they're focused on the rest of Gun. They're not realizing that Nerf Me is just sitting at the back going, yes, peek it, peek it. And as soon as they come through, Nerf Me, once again, just pinpoint accuracy, pinpoint precision. He gets those knocks, isolates the 1v1 fight, and we all know who wins the 1v1 fight. It's going to be Nerf Me, and there he is, MVP of the match once again.
And you did say that Gun had the special skill of fighting uphill. Now let's take a look at the leaderboard for today, and after that we'll be taking a look at the overall leaderboard for the PUBG Mobile Tournament. So after game 3, Patchy, your boys?
Yeah, it's Gun, obviously, sitting at the top there. 8 kills, 15 placement points, 23 points for game 3, and this is obviously a back-to-back chicken dinner for them. So they have really just boosted their way up the leaderboard. I mean, I'm sure the overall is going to look absolutely nuts at the end of this because, yeah, they've really gotten some serious accumulation of points. Of course, the Natural Killers doing a good job of getting that second place. And like I said earlier, it's good to see them back up towards the top where we know they can be. I'd like to see them there more frequently for sure, but it's good to see them make an appearance. Of course, a tough time for teams like Undisputed AE, not getting those chickens like they were before, not getting the positions that they were looking for. So they're just going to have to go back to that drawing board and come back stronger in the next time, of course. The rest of the teams like Nibble not showing up again, not able to get what they're looking for. Some of these teams just having a really hard time and just sort of getting outshone by some of the other teams that have come to play.
Wow.
Oh, there it is.
That was just amazing. This is the overall leaderboard right now. Gun pushing up. Apache, I mean, Esme, talk us through this because this is just exciting to see.
You know, we were looking at it, you know, I was saying Slime for 4KT, Tempo, Undisputed AE, you know, the teams that were really at the top. And just looking at it now, Gun sitting on 60 kills with an overall total points of 141. I mean, not only have they been doing the most in terms of kills in these last couple of maps, on Sanhok and on Miramar, they took pretty much almost the most kills, and obviously that top placement. So Sanhok alone... that's something to remember. But for them now, they've just made it work. So we've got Gun in first place, we've got 4KT in second, Tempest still sitting in third, Undisputed AE, not the most insane performance out of them today, but really consistent throughout, sitting in that fourth place. Rain from Hull in fifth, Immortalz in sixth, Aphelion Apex, also one of the teams that were really good in terms of placements today. I mean, time and time again, they made it to that top 5, top 4. However they did, unfortunately, once again, in a horrible situation and in a crossfire, but sitting pretty in 7th. So really good work from all of the teams from Group A and Group C. And you can see Natural Killers, they've made it all the way up there to 9th, with Lag Esports just behind them in 10th. And then the Comfy Cartel, one of the teams we saw today, also sitting in 12th, Spaza 6, Ultra 6, Drogons going to be happy, still in that top 16 ultimately. And again, yeah, it's a little bit of inconsistencies in terms of the leaderboards that we saw, but overall, I think a lot of these teams can be happy with the placements that they got, a little bit of extra points to help them with the leaderboard. And again, we were reminded, you know, it's that top 24 that go 3.
Yeah, it is. And of course, the last page here looking a little bit dreary for the teams. At least they've made it across that line, though. And as you mentioned, that is ultimately what really is important. You know, ultimately, if you can't make it onto the first page, it's not the end of the world. As long as you can make it into that top 24, you're still good to go. And so the safe teams, Pain Africa sitting in the 17th spot, Influence Rage 18. We've got BBC in 19th position, Black Clover with 20. We've got Outsiders Official in the 21st position, Fear in 22nd, Citizens in 23rd, and Rainbow Six Madagascar repping that Madagascar colors coming out in at 24th as well. It's this page that you have to be a little bit worried about. If you're sitting here between 25 and 30, then yeah, you really need to hit that drawing board, get some strats going there, and come to play next time around. Because things, if at the end of the round of the tournament here, the first round, then if you're here, it's yeah, it's a little bit of a feels bad man moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, that has been Game 3 today at the Umzansi Esports League Season 3. Today is day 2 of week 2. There's more action coming tomorrow. My name is Dr. Sid. I'm here with Esmery and Pachi, and we have had some amazing action today. We're about to head out, but I just want to remind everyone that if you are not following Nodwin Gaming on all our socials, please do so. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube and Twitch channels, and so you stay up to date with all the action and you don't lose any information that you need to. This has been the Umzansi Esports League Season 3. My name is Dr. Sid. I'm here with Pachi and Esmery, and we will see you guys tomorrow for more action. See you tomorrow.